Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday night CPL cast. Once again, with me is RoyalBlue, and we are going to continue casting the match between Team GOSU and Team UED in the first week of the playoffs. Today, we've got the Tier 0 match. There's a lot of players that I recognize in this group. I'm excited to see these games. What about you, RoyalBlue?
Yeah, definitely. Should be some good games today.
Exactly. And I don't see a reason to waste any more time. Let's just get into it. We're going to get started with a ZVZ here. Between 440 and Nagnar on butter. Yeah, you know, we got a Protoss and a Terran. A casting. Let's get off right with the ZVZ. Alright, here in the top right of butter, in the purple Zerg. It's who is this again? It's Nagnar, aka Wag as weapon. And in the bottom right, in the red Zerg. Much easier to remember, it's 440 for Team GOSU. Now,
Nagnar kind of faking us out with the name change, I think.
Oh, yeah. The worst is when like both people have complete nonsense names in the replay and you have no idea. Yes. And it's a mirror matchup, so you have no idea who's who. That was great. Now, I don't know about you, but like I actually really like ZVZ. The only thing that I really don't like is when like one player just gets a huge scouting advantage because they sent their overlord in the correct direction. Yeah. So I feel like two-player maps should be pretty good for ZVZ because that way like both players are going to know where to send their scout.
Oh, definitely. I think this one's going to be like, you know, a pretty quick game, right? They're on butter. They're not too far away. They're definitely going to get first scout, as you said, with those overlords. I don't know about... I don't pay too much attention to scouting in ZVZ, but I actually do enjoy ZVZ as well, so it should be a good game here.
All right, so
here we see... Yeah.
An overpool from Nagnar. And I guess a 12 pool from 440. So I think that's good for 440. I think 440 is going to have a bit of a drone lead here. But who knows? Who knows, really? Like, I shouldn't, like, make any calls. Like, I think once something has happened, I can understand why it happened. But I can't make any predictions here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think right now, yeah, you're right. A little bit of a drone lead isn't the worst thing, I guess.
Yeah, just the worker counts are so low in this matchup that just being a single worker ahead, it can be a big deal. Ooh, we have a second hatchery here from...
So there's the difference, yeah. Second hatchery versus lair. So, yeah.
So I feel like this is something that I see almost every single ZVZ in the CPLs. One player goes for a tech advantage, and the other player goes for a larva advantage. And like the larva player has to attack and pretty much win the game before the tech comes into play. So I think that's what we're going to have to see here from 440. Like 440 lets recognize that, and then go for it.
I think you're right about that. I like the play from 440 here to go for basically lanes, it looks like, right? Getting speed instead of lair, and now getting a second hatch as well. So they're going to go for pretty much a counterattack, hopefully, I think, if they can win this initial engagement. And then, as you said, like maybe try to end the game before the tech comes out for Nagnar.
Yeah, we do even have a second hatchery in the main of Nagnar, but pretty far behind that of 440. But is that going to be enough to hold off? I mean, speed is almost done for 440. The lair is started for 440 as well, so 440 might not be completely all in here.
Yeah, it's their muta is going to be delayed, so I guess they want lair as well. But it's weird because usually when you are behind on muta, right, this much, don't you want the evos as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think like spores and evos build pretty fast, like, so you have plenty of time before you have to build one, and you might be able to force those larvae to go into something other than mutas if you move in with these speedlings.
Yeah. Here's the Speedling attack. It's going to be tough to get through this good positioning from Nagnar here.
It looks like just barely a slim victory for 40 here, but some reinforcements come in and Nagnar is able to hold it off for now.
Yeah, but here's the next wave, so maybe this is what you were talking about. Is there ever going to be a time when they can even hold off and morph a few mutas here from this lean aggression that we see from 440?
Well, yeah, it's starting to look like a significant lead here for the red Zerg. And the Spire is done, and there's only one single muta coming up. There's this Sunken trying to form, but a drone has already fallen here. Nagnar's just trying to buy time.
Yeah, another drone goes down. It looks like the Sunken is going to finish here, I think, and then the mutas are going to be out. So the timing here is running out for 440. But on the other side of things, that Evo is finished and Creep Colony is on the way, as well as Aspire. So I think 440 kind of did enough damage there, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. Like, I think being up 3 drones seems pretty good. There is a Spore coming, so 440 is not just going to get instant checkmated by this one muta here.
Yeah, the Spore will be nice, but I think the muta can get around to the bottom, maybe? We'll see this positioning here from Zerg.
Yeah, I might be able to harass these drones at the bottom, at the very least, like bounce glaives into them. But we have 3 mutas, actually we have 4 mutas and a pair of Scourge coming for the red Zerg, so we'll definitely be able to get that air control back down. Might lose this Overlord though.
Yes, it looks kind of risky, but here come the Scourge that just morphed.
So Nagnar pulls those mutas back, sparing the Overlord, but one of the mutas does get hit by Scourge.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, one of these dies, and the other one is severely wounded, and another wave of mutas headed straight to the main of Nagnar, who does not have a Spore.
Yeah, and the muta goes down instantly by some Scourge, it looked like, right? So, yeah. GG. Yeah.
Nice. So, quick victory there for Nagnar. Or, for 440. Whoops. That's a ZBZ for you.
Yeah, sick counterattack, really. 440 just getting ahead in the macro a little bit and then just swinging it with the, I guess, big morph of mutas once they had a later Spire, but it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Usually I think it's like a rush to Spire, but I guess I'm wrong. That sense.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time I see the tech player win, like they barely hold off and then they just win with the mutas. But seems like 440 pulled it off quite well this time.
Yeah, only getting one muta out, I guess, just not enough there from Nagnar.
Alright, now we're on the good night in the top left of that map in the gray. Zerg is the victorious 440, and the bottom right, this time in the orange, is Nagnar. Now it looks like both players are going to scout in the wrong direction, so, you know, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the fairness here. I wonder if there are any, like, absolute madmen who cross-scout in ZVZ with their Overlord. Like,
yeah. I have no idea about that. I do wonder as well, do you think we're more likely to see, like, maybe expand here, at least from one of these players, considering, like, last game they basically just won base?
Yeah, it's funny because, like, I feel like a greedier build should be more likely on a big 4-player map, but that also would make aggressive builds good too, right? If you think you're more likely to go for a greedy build, so who knows how that works out.
Yeah, because you're gonna have no idea what they're doing anyway. Especially if your Overlord in this case is going in the wrong direction, it's going to be very risky to take an early hatch, I think. But right now they're just joining up, getting the Overlord out. We don't see any pull going down, so maybe they will go for the early hatch.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be something on 12 at least. Probably a hatchery, because pulls would be down by now. Oh, there, well, I said that, and 440 immediately moves to Serena to build a pool here. And Nagnar is going to be the one to take the 12 hatch in the natural. So I think this is like fine for both players. I don't think it's a huge advantage for either one. But again, it is going to be like the tech lead for 440 and a larva lead for Nagnar. So actually the players have switched roles, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess here we've also seen Nagnar decide to take the expansion, so maybe they will. Oh, and there's 440 taking the expand as well. So pretty similar builds, I guess.
Yeah, both players thinking relatively economically for this matchup. Like maybe 4 pools or anything ridiculous like that.
Yeah, there is 6 lanes here coming out now for 440. And right now, all they know kind of is the knot in bottom right. They don't know.
Yeah. I think like you just have to do that, right? Because like you're not going to drone scout in this matchup, so you're just going to be in there until your overlords find them. See, you can't afford to be greedy and just drone in darkness like that.
And sending out 1 lane now cross map.
Oh
so
my god, there's a 3rd hatchery in the base of Nagnar, and this might be Hydras. It's either going to be Hydras or like massive link flood.
I'm rooting for link flood, but maybe it's Hydras.
Same.
Hydras is also fun. Either way, I like it. And the link does get denied here. So I guess that's important, right? Not allowing to see the 3rd hatch.
Yeah. But seeing the natural, I think seeing the creep colony should give a lot away. And actually, given that we had this creep colony, I think it might be Hydras, because if it was going to be link flood, you wouldn't be worried about your defense, I think.
Yeah, so how does the creep colony give it away that it's Hydras?
Well, I don't know, like, why else would you need a sunk, right? Like, if you have at least 2 hatcheries, you should have pretty good link production, I would think. Like, to go for a sunk blind, like...
Yeah.
Like, we see that 440 didn't do that, right?
That's true. Now, I'm not sure a sunk blind is necessarily a bad idea.
Well, yeah,
but...
it seems like I might be overreacting here, because you do have the lair started for Nagnar, but the Spire is already on the way for 440. So maybe that I think that sunk might just be a mistake. Like, I don't know, it seems like a pretty big cost gate here that he's scouting. Or maybe 440 is just being greedy and getting away with it.
Yeah, maybe Nagnar is thinking they can use the sunk to do a run by or a counterattack with their links, but right now they're just like kind of camping in their main, so they're not really making use of the sunk at all. They're going to run by and see that what 440 is up to at least, though. Sneaking a link into the main is very good.
Getting all the vision here. I have an exact idea what timing is. It's going to be pretty strong here for Nagnar, but also 440 has an Overlord going into the main of the Orange Zerg, so both players are going to be pretty well informed on what's going on here.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a quick scout, though, because they're going to see now that the Spire is finishing for 440, and you know that Overlord is going to die pretty soon. But at least they're going to see the tech here that they've chosen. It looks like just spores so far for Nagnar, and they do have that Evo, but they're not upgrading anything. So yeah, I'm not sure what they've kind of selected.
Yeah, it just seems like Nagnar has accepted being behind on tech, and is just gonna try to drone up here and turtle with all these spores and sunks. And like you can see that despite building all these buildings, like Nagnar is equal on the drone count right now, and actually ahead right now. So Nagnar is definitely thinking about a longer game here.
Yeah. They are down in supply quite a bit, but I guess that's what the mutas are good for, right? Taking up supply. And I guess, yeah, they wasted a lot of their drones on these buildings, which hopefully are going to protect them as they drone up even more here. And then there they have dropped their Spire now, at least.
Yeah, 440s here, trying to look for some opportunities to deal damage, but I think the spores are very well placed. Covers basically everything. Like, a lot of the time, I feel like we see, like, there's like one angle the spores don't cover, and the ending units just abuse the hell out of it.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of spores out here, which is necessary. I think at least 3 base, right? Something like that. Mm-hmm. So this is pretty good here at the net. You don't want to, lose too many drones.
Yeah, there's quite a few spores. There's going to be 4 spores in the net, and 2 in the main, and also there's 2 suns. So this is definitely a commitment to the defense here. Mm-hmm. For Nagnar. I feel like that's saying that, like, you're confident in the later game, right? If you're like, okay, I can make this payment now to be safer, and then I can just beat you in later because I'm going to drone more play you.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, and I also think it allows you to counterattack more, right? So that's what was strong in the last game, was that counterattack that 440 pulled off. So let's see if maybe Nagnar's going to get one here. Now that they do have at least more production than their opponent, they've got these 3 hatches up. Now 440 is trying to expand to 12 o'clock now, putting their 3rd hatch down, which will be nice because at least they've got a new expansion, so they'll be mining even more gas. But both these players are actually, they're starting to accumulate quite a gas bank, So.
Yeah, this is always a really interesting phase of this matchup for me because, like, obviously, like, well, that 3rd base would die if Nagnar knew about it and chose to kill it. But, like, both players are going to be, like, a bit scared to commit too hard, just scouting the entire map. Although now that I say that, we have this Muta fight here outside the natural of Nagnar, and the Muta count is so much higher for 440.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like really Nagnar could go over there and deny that base right now just due to their lower Muta count. But maybe if 440 continues to fight next to those spores, they might get strong enough to venture over there across the map and take out that 12 o'clock base.
So we have Carapace just finishing, and the Queen's Nest is about to finish for 440, so we are going to get into one of these cool Zerg vs. Zerg games, I think. Oh, and we have the Queen's Nest starting for Nagnar as well.
Yeah, Nagnar going out and just like kind of poking at Overlord, and now they've actually somehow aggroed some mutas over to chase them, which worked out, but honestly, I'm not a fan of just going out with your mutas like that. I feel like you could get the troll chase back,
Mm-hmm. Well, the Hive is on the way, as well as +1 air attack. Now, I assume that the Hive tech, like the default Hive tech to go for, I think, is Devourers, because that just helps you win the air war. But I'm actually wondering, like, is +1 air going to be done when the Hive finishes? Like, I don't think so. I think it's actually going to delay the Great Aspire to get this upgrade.
Okay. Well, there's the Hydra Den going down for Nagnar, it looks like.
Oh my god. I was right. I was right. I was just 10 minutes off.
Yeah, not even. So it looks like Ling is going to scout 12 o'clock here for 40. And so Nagnar is starting to attack one of the drones. They actually are getting some drone kills here with this Ling.
2 drones with 1 Ling. That's so much value right there. We do
and
also
at least they scouted that base, right?
Yeah, but there's a 4th base going up for 440 at the 9 o'clock.
So 440 really taking advantage of their map control to expand to these gas bases, which I think is going to prove very effective for them the longer this game goes. So maybe Nagnar, if they realize this, is going to have to pull off some kind of Hydra timing attack. They're both, or it looks like just 1 Greater Spire is going. So only Nagnar going for the Greater Spire right now.
Yeah, so getting the Greater Spire and the Hydra is interesting. I I think that 440 did make a mistake with this +1 air attack. Like, I think that they did mean to go for the Greater Spire and just didn't realize that the timing wouldn't work out. Because we don't see any other hive tech out of 440. I guess we do see the adrenaline upgrade starting now.
That's always good, right?
Yeah.
Now, getting the fourth base scouted, though, however, is not so good, and it looks like Nagnar is going to move out and maybe try to punish that base if they see a drone transfer there or something like that, as it looks like they are sending out at least a few lings and their mutas to try to get a little bit of presence here. So far, 440 has expanded and not really had to worry so much about defense. You know, they've kept their mutas in a defensive position, but they haven't had to build spores or sunkens, right?
And now Nagnar is punishing that with his attack at 12 o'clock. Gets a few drones and then just gets out with the perfect timing. Like, this is such a small number of mutas to poke out with, like 5 at this stage of the game. But that's because the rest of them are being turned into Devourers back home. So this is going to be a big move here for Nagnar to like take air control. And there's also a decent amount of these Hydras here. I have no. I don't think I've ever seen Hydra Devourer. Like,
me either. I've never seen this either, but I like the play so far from Nagnar. I think they definitely did need to do something like what they just did with those mutas, where they at least picked off a few drones, considering we're seeing 440 now up to 4 bases here. But here comes the big timing attack, so I think they're just going to kind of, you know, throw it all in here and see what happens, right?
Yeah. And I'm not sure that 440 knows that it's coming.
I think just there, a Ling just saw the Hydras and the Devourers. So potentially, it looks like they're gathering their units here.
Yeah, there's so many mutas here for 440.
They may just
can you spread them out enough to not get absolutely destroyed by the Devourers?
Yeah, the drone's trying to run, but I don't think they're going to make it.
Yeah.
Well, he's taken out of this base. I'm not sure if I would have gone here or gone to the Nat right away, but definitely taken out that base of the drones there. And now it looks like 440 has gotten some time together, but the Hydra's underneath this Devourer force.
We try to kill these Devourers with Scourge, but they're so tanky. And the thing is, like, we have Devourers for 440, but like, the army is mostly Hydras for Nagnar, so that anti-air is not going to help too much. A big fight here, but I think these spores are going to tip it in favor of Nagnar considerably.
There's a bunch of Scourge coming in, but I agree. I think these Hydras might actually be a little too much here, right? Yeah, we're looking at a lot of leftover Hydras, and now some panic creep colonies going down for 440, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be quick enough here.
Yeah, anyway, these Sunks finished. I think they did. This is enough Hydras to power through. Well, I said that. I think Sunks might finish. I have no idea. But anyway, they are going to go down here. I don't know if 440 has anything saved up to deal with this. Like, I think we saw Consume in the production queue, but he's played to go along with these at the very least. Something to finish off these Hydras. And 440 is going to tap back here. So Nagnar, it turns out that I was correct, and we were going to see Hydras. It was just, much later in the game. After getting Spire. And that is going to even this up, and we're going to go to Game 3. I'm not sure. I think we went to Game 3 like one time last week, right? So we do get to see Eclipse here.
Which is exciting, right? I'm glad Nagnar was able to take that pretty awesome build, too, I think, really.
Yeah, like there's so many different choices once you get to the Hive Tech. Like, it's really funny, like, how linear the matchup is until you get to that Hive Tag, and then suddenly there's so many different things that you can do. And this time Nagnar got the better end of it.
Yeah, I think that the Devourers were definitely late to the fight for 40 in that one, and as you said, they didn't have enough ground really, or maybe to deal with the Hydras, it seemed like. But anyway, here we are in Game 3. It looks like 440 is here on the top right. And we have Nagnar in the bottom left. It's the orange dessert.
And we are on Eclipse. It's going to be another 2-player map, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's good for the fairness. Again. I think, like, I don't know, like, how much does the map even matter in this matchup? Like, I guess, like, the rest just matters, maybe, like, if there's a ramp or not. But, like, beyond that, I feel like 99% of the ZVZ, the map does not matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like you said, like, with the SimCity. Like, in the last game, I think the SimCity for Nagnar was maybe not, like, as perfect as it could have been, right? But most of the time, like they had to kill one of their own seconds. I don't know if that's perfect or not. But, like, I think that's the only thing that really mapped would affect, right? Other than that, we're going to see kind of similar things. It looks like maybe they won't expand as greedily, and they'll be able to scout each other quicker. But as you said, like, a 2-player map is pretty much the main difference, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this and Butter, what's the difference except maybe rush distance and the ramp, right?
Yeah. Well, it looks like a 12 pool for Nagnar, and I think an over? No, this is a 9 pool speed, or a 9 pool gas anyway, from 440. So I think this is the most aggressive build that we've seen all series, or at least like the least economic.
Yeah, 440 does have the 6 lanes with speed on the way, and they've got 2 more, so they're going to try to punish this early hatch, it looks like, from Nagnar. I'm not sure here. I think if Nagnar chooses, they may be able to defend this hatch, but they also could cancel it, right? If they decide, right? It's going to come down. They're transferring drones all the way out very quickly here. But they do have lanes on the way, so it's going to be pretty even here, actually, in the lane count.
These drones are going to try to help with this fight, but that's so risky to do in this matchup. Like, this is like a third of Nagnar's economy not mining right now.
Yeah, it's a good point. There's less minerals coming in right now, so kind of this has been a good, like, maybe harassed by 440, I guess. It'd be nice if they actually got some damage done or killed the drone here.
Ooh. Trying to go for it. Not managing to focus down any of these drones, but the Lings alone are doing lots of damage. Seems like Nagnar will survive for now, and the natural hatchery will go up. These drones still don't want to mine just yet.
Yeah. I think you go for a colony here. I'm surprised these drones have not morphed yet into something.
Just more and more Lings flooding across the map here from 440. Still no creep colony. Like you mentioned, that drone's, oh my god, so close to dying. And the Lings just go straight into the main of Nagnar. There's no creep colony here either. Both players have speed. The Nagnar Lings are trying to chase down these 440 Lings.
440 kind of must see here that now they're behind on hatches. They got to get some damage done with these Lings. Desperately running around in the main.
And back at home, we do have the Spire like halfway done for 440. What I'm worried will happen though is, like, before the Spire comes up, Nagnar will just have a big lane advantage. Like, if it's, you know, it seems like the tides are going to turn pretty soon here with his second hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, as we can see, even a third hatch going down for Nagnar, and they do have a huge lane advantage because they don't have any kind of colony. They're kind of scared of a counterattack, so they sent out their Lings in a kind of a fan to see where the 440 Lings were, and now they're just denying any kind of run by. Ooh, nice trap here.
Oh,
with the
nice
Ling.
around,
Nagnar.
We do have a sunken in the main base of 440. It's very well positioned to be very easy to drill these drones on it. But there's also only 4 drones on minerals for 440, so pretty much committed to these mutas dealing a ton of damage here. I don't think there's very much in the way of defense for the Orange Zerg. We do have an Evo and a Spore going up soon.
Here comes Nagnar's attack, though, with all the lanes. They haven't killed too many drones yet, but they have focused on a lot of it.
The Sunk is getting really low. The drones have to fight. It's down to 5 drones for 440. And these mutas, like, they want to be dealing damage in the base of Nagnar. They don't want to be back at home killing Lings. They're trying to fly over now, but now look, the creep colonies are coming. It's looking like, if you look at Nagnar's base, it looks very much like the last game, but 440's position looks so much worse. Right? Like, down to 5 drones, only 1 hatchery, like, we have like 2 mutas in the air. Like, if Nagnar won game 2, I don't see how they possibly lose this game. Right? Like, it just looks so good for Nagnar now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I think even though they are so low on drones, both of them are so low and they're just mining minerals. I think with these spores up and the huge advantage in like hatches, right, that Nagnar has, as long as they're able to spend their minerals here.
Yeah, 440 is doing a good job with these mutas. Did lose one to the Spore, but also has killed the drone and shut down mining in the natural. So this is what these mutas need to be doing. But at the same time, we do have more Lings from Nagnar heading into 440's base. The Sunken is at half HP. A second one is trying to go up, but it's not going to be up in time to deal with these Lings. More drones are going down.
Yeah, I gotta question how 440 didn't kind of see these Lings sneak out here, and they did get some drone kills. So that was, I think, effective for Nagnar to get their Lings across the map.
Yeah, for sure. And this second Sunk here is so exposed. It's gonna be so easy to surround that if there are if there is like another big wave of Lings. But the thing is, like, at this point, like, I feel like Nagnar knows that if they just sit back, play defensively, they're in just an unlosable position.
Yeah, I think that last attack kind of, maybe they saw the drone count, got some more kills, and I think now they've realized, as you said, okay, now I just got a drone up. I can play it similar to the last game, and these mutas aren't going to do anything against all my sport colonies. You know? Here are some Lings, though, making their way into the main. They're going to get trapped here. This looks like kind of a TVZ play, you know?
Yeah.
You try to sneak your Lings into the main past the
bunker, try to get on top of the barracks or something, but there's just so many Lings for Nagnar that 440 isn't able to make this cute tricks work.
Yeah, this 3 hatch too is just so much production, right? So we see 440 now throwing down a second hatch, trying to catch up somewhat. It is like such a big advantage here, right? How do you get back in this game? You got to do it slowly, I guess, and take some good trades. But again, the Lings are pulling off another counterattack for Nagnar. They sent a group of 6 Lings into the main of 440, and they might try to jump on one of these Sunkens, or I don't think there's enough, so they're backing out.
But they've also forced these mutas back out of Nagnar's base, so more breathing room. The layer is almost done for Nagnar, so I'm sure we're going to see that Spire go down as soon as that's done. And then, like, at that point, 440 won't really have a lead in this game, like, in any way. There's only 3 mutas up for 440, so it's like 1 round from 1 hatchery for Nagnar to catch up here. And Nagnar has 2 gases.
Yeah, Nagnar not even really sending out another group of Lings just yet. They are producing them, but they're kind of content to just play defensive. And I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, look at the draw count right now. It's 28 to 12.
Yeah.
Nagnar's just absolutely running away with it in terms of workers right now.
I think, 440 is definitely making Nagnar work for it, but Nagnar is playing this out very well to continually send out these link forces and to also deny bases. Like, it looks like there was drone sent down here. Bottom right.
Ooh. Was that a link killing a link? Or no, that must have been a link killing a drone. So 440 trying to take a risky play to get back in this game, but Nagnar's doing a great job with these lings at these potential bases. And like that's such a good move in general when you're ahead. Like figure out how you could lose the game and try to do something about it. And like frequently the most likely way to lose a game is if your opponent expands and you just don't see it. So it's really good to just take a few of these lings and check bases.
Yeah, definitely. I like the play so far from Nagnar, denying those bases, and as well as seeing the timing of this Nat expansion. So I don't think there's any way this Nat base is really going to finish, because we see here there's 9 mutas on the way now. Yeah. There is a Queen's Nest. But yeah, I think these 9 mutas are just going to run over whatever 440 has, you know?
Yeah, there's only 5 in the air for Nagnar. Not that much money to replace them. We do have air armor in the works, but that's not going to finish in time for this fight.
Okay, here it is. I want to see the chase.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't chase them. Okay, so it looks like 440 got away there. But Nagnar must know they have an advantage still, so they should be able to press it and deny this Nat expansion, I think.
Yeah. Do have lings here heading out from Nagnar, probably to scout the natural to see what's up. And we have caster vision, of course, but I think you're right. I think Nagnar should be able to figure out that they're just way ahead. You're like, they don't see that many mutas out of them. Does they even kill more drones with these lings here?
Yeah, getting more and more drone kills. It's got to be definitely a feeling for Nagnar that you're ahead in this game, I think, right? Yeah. Maybe not able to count exactly the muta list, but look, they have 11 against. It's only 7 here for 40. So
yeah, we have the hive and the Hydra den being built again by Nagnar. So if it works in the first game, why right?
Yeah, I guess I like it that. I got to give 440 credit for staying in the game and trying to pull it off here. Yeah. You know, basically it is playoffs and they're in game 3, so I'm not faulting them for that. And also Nagnar basically doing their due diligence. You know, let me get the hive tech out. Let me show them the Greater Spire build one more time and finish off the series that way. You know.
Yeah, we saw this Hydra Devour combo work out so well against the mass mutas of 440 and. Pretty sure it's going to work against these 10 mutas of 440.
Yeah, another group of mutas moving out for Nagnar. Maybe trying to do a bit of a hit and run over here at the top. But they don't really need to commit because they've got all these Hydras. Are they even going to take a 3rd base, it looks like?
Well, they are sending this drone out to the 3rd.
They have so many resources. They have a lot of minerals here.
Getting that extra gas is absolutely huge here. You have a few Scourge here for 440. Some sick micro could maybe win this fight, but both players decide not to engage.
Yeah, a bunch of Scourge now coming out, so I don't think 440 is aware that Hydras are on their way again. So the Scourge are most likely not going to be as effective. They're going to be able to deal with some of the air, I guess.
Just a few Devourers being made. I think it's smart, because they're more like support units than just units that work on their own. Oh, we have lurkers coming for 440 though.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, if
So
they
that could be interesting.
yeah, if they do get up in time, like they're gonna murder these Hydras. But the air fight is still it's gonna be rough, and I don't know if Nagnar is going to give 440 enough time for that. Like we have those Devourers done. This huge army is heading out.
So 440 is moving over here to deny this kind of greedy third base that Nagnar was setting up. And Nagnar doesn't really seem too worried about losing it. Actually, they're just moving across the map and headed for 440's map.
Yeah.
And I don't see any way 440 is going to stop this here. This is a lot of Hydras here alone. It looks like 440 is actually, trying to get lurkers out, but their attack is very delayed. It's just now finishing.
440 is going to tap out. Now, it was in top versus bottom, so we're going to, be charitable and assume that there was a GG. And that is going to bring the score between these teams actually to 3-2 overall. For the playoffs, we're keeping track of like all the matches here. And that's going to be the end of our first series. That was really intense.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. It was a good way to start off the night.
Yeah, that was exciting, and that was I think pretty high level play considering for CPL.
Yeah.
Players. What do you think? Was that an upset for Nagnar?
I don't know what the relative skill level of these players is. Like, I don't know if that was a big deal or not. But like I feel like Nagnar like really had like a plan for how they wanted the game to go, and they like shaped the game into the situation that they would be good at. I think that was pretty cool to see. Well, we're going to get started with actually a series between two Zerg players, but one of them off races in this matchup. So
I thought it was Butter game match one. No?
You are right. Looks like the maps were mislabeled. We're gonna rehost that real quick. Good call.
Okay, good. I feel like we've done this before, no? Maybe that was it.
We have Supperman in the chat telling us that that Nagnar and 440 played in week 10 of the regular season, and 440 won there. So so Nagnar, I bet, is feeling really good now.
Yes.
To get that revenge when the game really counts. All right, now we can actually start this game.
I mean, I think the game always counts, even in week 10, but definitely in the playoffs is when it's most sweet, right?
Exactly. Well, in the top right of Butter, playing Protoss against Zerg, it's the blue player ash.Baal for Team GOSU, and in the bottom right, it's the red Zerg lightswarm. Now, lightswarm in ZVZ is like the ultimate evangelist of Hydras. Turns out in PvZ you just go for Hydras anyway. So maybe lightswarm just avoids Hydras.
Yeah, Hydra good unit, turns out. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Hydras here from lightswarm.
Yeah. Looks like it will be a Forge expand here from Baal. And Lightswarm is going for a 9 pool. I think this is going to work out pretty well for Baal, because Baal is going to get the fast scout off. And all you have to do against 9 pool with Forge expand is make 2 cannons. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Like, 9 pool is good against like gateway expand. It at least like forces a bigger reaction, and maybe like if they miss micro, those can do a lot of damage. But if the party is going Forge and they see this a 9 pull, it's very easy to just make 2 cannons and be safe.
Okay, so then it's a matter of scouting, right? And so far, the Protoss player, now they're sending their probe into the mains. They are going to scout this. Most likely, right, they saw, wait, there should be a drone out here trying to take a hatch, so what's going on? So now they're going to see the spawning pool, right? Yeah,
if it was hatch first, the hatch would have been down. Overpool gets it at like 204 or something. But seeing this, like, if you get there and the pool finishes and the Overlord just hatches, then you know that it's 9 pool, and you know they're going to make 6 lanes. And this Probe might still get a chance to block. No, decides not to go for it. Just wants to make sure it sees what's coming out of these larvae. It is going to be the 6 lings. And, you know, this is nice to buy just a few seconds here with this Probe.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's
more
pretty
than
much,
a few seconds
yeah,
here.
yeah. Lightswarm is not even trying to cross the map. Absolutely wants to kill this Probe. Ends up leaving 1 ling on it. But you can see back at home, like, these 2 cannons are easily done here for Baal.
Oh, yeah.
And Baal's going to get this Nexus done, or started.
Okay, so then who's ahead here? You would say Protoss, right?
Yeah, I think like it's not like game over like for Zerg. Yeah. Like I think Protoss here would want to get the Nexus before the cannon. It's such a long rush distance, but overall I think it's better for Protoss.
Now I've heard like 9 pool into 973. Is that a thing or no?
I mean, you can literally always just make Hydras and have a decent chance of winning. Like I don't know if it like you need a particular.
So we may see some Hydras here, as you were saying. Yeah,
that's still possible.
So yeah, they've opened with the 9 pool. Now they're taking 6 o'clock. It looks like they're taking their gas. I wonder what the next step for Zerg is.
Well, this is like the real decision point. Like if the gas was later, it would be like one of these stylish like 4 or 5 hatchery before gas builds. If it is going to be 3 hatch Hydra, oh yep, we do see the Hydra den, so it is going to be a Hydra bust. Now, is Protoss going to be aware of it? We do see this Probe actually snuck out here. He's taking the long way around, so might have a chance to discover the Hydra den directly.
Yeah, I like that. Probe scouting down here. Hopefully it can get in and see that there are Hydras on the way, so Protoss knows what's up. Right now, Protoss taking a second gas and getting their cybernetics core, so it looks like they're looking to tech up. They're going to see this third base, but there's no drones here, really. Just 1. And now they're going into the main, so if they can invade these Zerglings, they may be able to see the Hydras are on the way.
Yeah, it's, at least for me, like, in this game, it would be really hard for me to judge based on this information, because, like, you know Zerg is going to be behind where they want to be anyway because of the 9 pull. But, like, I do get concerned when I see the third base and there's not that many drones there. Yes. And, of course, like, it is the 973, right? So if you see like 3 or fewer drones at the third base, you're like, uh-oh. Yeah. Look at this. There are 3 drones and the larvae are not working.
Yeah, and now they're working Hydras. So if the Probe makes it long enough to see these Hydras, I think, you know, Protoss will know what's up. There is 4 drones here, you know, maybe trying to pretend like it's not 973. But yeah, here come the Hydras. So they're getting... I think they've already got movement, right?
Okay, yeah, and you can tell Baal knows, because there's 3 more cannons coming up here.
Yeah. Which is the play, right? You just kind of mass cannon.
Yeah, so it's like 4 or 5 cannons for the first wave. You get the Stargate, you get the Corsair, and you see what they're making with larvae, and that tells you what to do after that. Like, if they make more Hydras, you make more cannons. If they make drones, then you just make gateways.
Okay, so already also a Citadel and a Forge working here for Baal. So most likely also trying to tech up and try to get maybe Storm out as well. It looks like, wow, they've even built a second Forge back, so they're kind of anticipating losing that first one.
Yeah, like, based on this wall, like, the fact that the cannons aren't completely flush with the buildings means that the Forge and the Gateway can't go down as soon as the Hydra range is done. But, like, that's fine. This is still fine for Protoss. Like, this is really hard for Zerg to break.
Yeah, these cannons on top, right, is kind of impossible for Zerg to break.
Actually, these last 2 cannons might be premature here from Baal. Like, we can see in the production tab that Zerg is macroing up with more drones, the lair, with the extra hatcheries.
2 more hatches.
Yeah. So I think the Hydra bust is over. But this is probably a bit better for Protoss, but Zerg is fine with it. Like, they kill the Gateway in the Forge, they force a bunch of cannons. they haven't taken too much damage themselves. So I'd say that this game is pretty even, but like just a bit ahead for Protoss.
Really, I'm definitely looking at Protoss. Like, look at the worker lead. Look at yeah, they do not have the army that can match what the Hydras have in the field right now. But I think they have the ability, as we see, they are massing gateways now, at least, and they have their speed zealot tech already.
Yeah.
So
the thing is here, like, this army for Zerg looks big now, but they're not going to make units for like a few minutes.
Yeah.
They're going to drone as hard as they can, try to get their tech back up. And if Protoss can mech her up in that time, like get storms, get a decent zealot army, they can punish Zerg for droning that hard. So let's see how it works out here. I'm a bit worried. I think the storm tech is kind of late for Protoss, so it might just be zealots here against these Hydras.
yeah, and it looks like they're getting range. So maybe zealot Dragoon, it looks like. Which, yeah, okay, there's Templar, so they may be getting their storm here.
Yeah, I think the range is coming just because Protoss has so much gas. They're like, well, I better do something. And actually, it's funny, like, this is like a small amount of zealots is scaring away these Hydras. Like,
yeah.
Lightswarm maybe assuming that there's Templar or something, or assuming that there's more zealots coming, but this is great for Baal. Forcing some units in the production tab. As long as we don't, like, lose these zealots, this is a good move for the Protoss.
Yeah, it looks like Lightswarm, though, is kind of, gonna catch them. But, yeah, this is, now the small group of zealots is now just retreating back across the map, so I think that's the right move, right? They want to conserve their units and then get some goons and Templar to support these zealots.
We have Storm coming, we have plenty of units and Templar, just like you said. And more gateways coming, so this is going to be a big game army here from Baal. And I was worried about the probe count for a little bit. Like, you do have to cut when you see the Hydra bus, but once you're sure you're not going to die, you get back on those probes. And Protoss is getting back into that, like, 42, 44 range that's ideal for 2-base. So that's good play on the part of Baal.
Yeah, now do you think, right now it doesn't look like they're taking a third base, right? They've got 8 gateways. It looks like they're just going for it. But do you think it's kind of a potential for them to just keep playing like the late game, or do you think now that they've dropped these 8 gateways that they're just going for it?
I mean, this is what I do, like, literally every game. So it's definitely not like
really?
all in.
Okay.
It's like a bit less popular now to go for like a quick 3-base on 6 gateways. At least if you're bad like me. So like I think, and I think in this scenario, like going for the 8 gates is good because like you're gonna hit your like 12-minute like power spike, and Zerg is like that's when Zerg is gonna be done running, so you're gonna be in a good spot.
Okay. Now they're killing some of their own cannons, but it looks like they are planning on moving out. And this is gonna... Okay, Zerg has lurkers out at least, so
yeah,
this may buy them some time.
Coming at just the right time to bottle up Protoss, but we do have an observer. Now, let me tell you, this is probably my least favorite thing in all of Brood Warriors, trying to get out of the lurking campaign. It's so miserable. Now, we do have the range done already for Protoss, we have the Dune, we have Storm, so we have all of the pieces. It's just going to be down to control here.
Okay, so yeah, I would say, yeah, Protoss maybe has a bit of a lead coming into this, right? They do have all the, everything they need to break a lurker container. There's really only a few lurkers as well, so they were able to storm down 1. But it is difficult to move around with these like slow observers and not get sniped by the Hydras, as we just saw one observer get sniped.
Yeah, I feel like Baal could be a lot more aggressive here, but of course it's hard to know that when you're actually in the game. You can see that they're having a rough time, like getting their zealots in the back, getting their goons and Templar in the front here. These cannons are getting in the way now. You're trying to go out here. Don't want to keep up with the zealots too much. Can take a lot of splash damage from these lurkers, but oh god, there's even mutas to snipe the Templar. Lightswarm is
I really
forgetting
like
all
those
my fears right
storms,
now.
though.
Oh, big storm on the mutas, but the Templars are going down.
Okay, all those mutas went down as well, though. I think now's the time, right? You got to break out eventually. If
Yeah,
you're
there's
Protoss.
only a few
gotta
lurkers
make
here.
use of these goons.
I think this is when you. Yeah, I think you're right. This is absolutely when Baal should be busting out here, but it's hard to know.
Oh, for sure. And if you know there's only 2 lurkers, that's a good call for you if you're Protoss here.
Oh wait, did the observer go down? I think the only observer might have gone down, so we're waiting on the next one to come out of this robo. By the way, just look at where this robo is. It's like all the way in the corner of the main base. Like, just build it in the natural. Like, don't have your Templar archives in the natural. Build your robo in the natural. It just buys you a few extra seconds when the observer comes out.
Yeah, the other thing I could think is maybe add some Corsairs. It looks like there's a couple Corsairs on the map, but they aren't kind of with the army. Maybe that could have denied these mutas from getting in there on the Templar the way they did.
Oh, Hydra's coming up. Oh my god, Hydra's killed the observer. See, this, I hate this so much. It's just so miserable, dude.
Yeah, this is something you watch.
Oh yeah, I'm not even playing this game. Okay. And the Hydra's doing a great job dodging these storms. Templar are being picked off. There's a few more in reserve. The next observer is here.
Okay, here come all the goons. I think this is the moment. But yeah, the observer is lagging a little bit behind, and there's a bunch of Hydras now reinforcing. Okay, here come all the zealots as well. But that's a lot of dead goons already.
Oh, some nice storms though on these Hydras. Yeah. Doing a lot of damage. And the Protoss army is in a nice arc here. The lurkers aren't getting too much like splash damage done. And I think Protoss is actually going to break out.
Wow. Perfect. So they managed to get out of their nat finally at 14 minutes here, and now they're trying to move across the map. They've taken out the contain of lurkers, right? But there's a 4th base already up for reserve. So did Lightswarm drone enough during this time, do you think?
I think the problem might be that the Lightswarm has drone too much. Like, because, I mean, the thing is, like, both the Hydra Bust and the Lurker Contain are builds where, like, you get a spike of army and then you try to make up for it with drones later. And now that Protoss has most of their army left, like, they've killed a lot of the Zerg army. This should be when Protoss can, like, just run over the Zerg. Now, I think the big thing here is that there's no more storms for Protoss. Like, the Templar died or they spent their mana. But you can see there's just not that much alive for Zerg right now. Like, they're building a lot.
Yeah.
Of Hydras, but it's all split up. Like, Protoss army is all together.
Yeah, Protoss is trying to reinforce here with this goon force. Yeah, there it is. GG.
Yeah. So, very well played from Baal. Mad respect from me. I fucking hate their contain. You see, like, it was really strong, but Baal did a good job of just staying calm, getting good storms off, and eventually punishing Zerg for all that, all those shenanigans. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna turn the lights on there.
Okay.
Alright, now we can head into this good night game. We actually are on game 2 right now. Let's start it. Alright, in the top left of Good Night, in the Red Zerg, it's Lightswarm again. And the bottom left, in the Protoss, it's Baal.
In the Protoss, in the blue Protoss, yeah. It'll be interesting. So it looks like Lightswarm is going to scout at least in the right direction here for Baal. I wonder, if you're Lightswarm, do you mix it up at all? I think that Lurker Contain was effective. I would try to do something like that again if I was Lightswarm.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a solid build. It's not like a cheese ray. It's not like, oh, he knows I'm doing it, it won't work. But, like, I don't know. I think maybe, like, seeing the great control of Baal, maybe you probably wouldn't go for that again.
Okay.
and it is going to be Forge Expand again here from Baal. Now, I think based on this pylon placement, this wall is going to be really gross for Baal. Like, it took me a long time to figure out a good walls on this map in the top left and the top, or in the bottom left and the top right bases.
Yeah.
I think so. I think if the gateway goes right above the forge, there's going to be a gap between the gateway and the top of the choke where a link can get through, but not a probe or a zealot, which is like the worst fucking thing ever. Yeah. It sucks. But if you actually, if you build this pylon like in the little V of the wall, like down and to the right, and you just build the forge gateway above it, and you have a much more normal wall.
Okay.
So that's just something that I learned recently.
So you're saying Protoss wall here is not ideal, but it still, may not be punished. We'll see. It does look like a pool going down for Zerg, and they are trying to take their expansion as well. So this would be the overpool timing, right, that you were saying in the last game.
Yeah. With the second overlord being out. Yeah, with the sanctuary going down. This is just a safe build here from Zerg. Like, overpool is like, it's not really advantaged against that many things, but it shouldn't die to anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is always good. If you're lightswarm, though, maybe not what you're looking for, considering you just lost game one. But you want to play safe, I guess.
As a salty Protoss player, I think Zerg should just literally go 12 hatch every single game. It's like the perfect build that you also will never die with.
Unless you die to like cannons or 12s.
No, like cannons, 12, like you just like 9, 9. It's like you like have to know how to pop the drones over the minerals, and then you're fine. Like you don't even need things.
Yeah, I guess I just never learned that. How to pop drones over minerals? That seems absurd to me. Yeah, but it looks like the overpool is definitely paying off. They're taking their 12 hatch, or the 12 location, right? So, I guess pretty standard, right? To take a third base with your third hatch.
Yeah, this is all very normal. Like, maybe if this third base was at the mineral only, that would be like a really big signal that they're wanting to go for Hydras again. Yeah, but the thing is, like, Hydra bust is still totally viable with this third base.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it looks like there is going to be Hydras coming down, so... Yeah, there's a Hydra gen already.
As soon as that probe's out of the main base, bam. Build that.
Yeah. I like it. And now, not running into quite the same type of wall they were before, maybe Zerg will be able to have more success.
Yeah, like... In general, Hydras are better against these like vertical walls. Like, I think partially it's just like the way that unit ranges are calculated. It's better, but also like you see that this one pylon doesn't allow Protoss to make nearly as many cannons as the one before. So Protoss has to have like some planning ahead to build a second pylon in the natural to allow for cannons. I think this probe might be 7-2 here.
Yeah, this is great scouting, though, from our Protoss Baal here. They've sent out their second probe, so now they're going to be able to see the expansion, it looks like, at 12 o'clock if they choose.
Yeah, if they do go up there, they're going to walk right into these Hydras, which is what this probe wants to see. I mean, well, it's not what it wants to see, but if they are there, then it wants to see.
No probe.
Oh my god, it dodges the Hydra. There we go, it finds it.
Yeah.
Alright, so Protoss does know we are seeing a cannon and that panic pylon coming up.
But the pylon was pretty much in perfect time, I think, that now they are going to be able to mass a lot of cannons if they need to. It looks like they are just kind of cutting probes, and they're going to try to go up to 5 cannons, it looks like, so far. But the Hydras are already over here. They may just try to jump on
this. Is looking better for Zerg this time, actually, with these links to help take us out. Look at that. The links can get through that gap. It's so stupid. Zealots can't walk through there. It's so dumb. But, okay, with these probes being pulled and links going down, these Hydras might not be able to keep out this wall. The cannons are trying their best to warp in here in time. The Zealots trying to fight these Hydras. This is really close right now, but looks like cannons do get up just in time. Like, that probe from Baal, if that had been killed, like, by Lings right outside the base or something, like, I think we'd be in Game 3 right now. Just in time.
Yeah, that was very close, and I gotta say, lightswarm maybe went a little too far in there trying to kill that cannon, that they lost a lot of Hydras, so now it's going to be hard for them to continue to be aggressive, right?
Yeah, and it looks very similar to last game. Like, we have Hydras crossing the map, but then in the protection queue, we see 5 drones. We see the lair, we see another hatchery. So I think, like, it's just looking very similar to the first game, just a bit better for Zerg overall than it was in game 1. Like, there was no 9-pull or anything, and force more cannons quickly and stuff like that. So this could be good for lightswarm as the game develops.
Yeah, I like the idea of pretty much just consistently doing a timing attack to keep your opponent honest, right?
The one thing, we saw this in game 1. Like, the Templar archives should be like done right now. It's not even started. Like, especially when they go for this Hydra bus, like, you're not gonna get your Zealots out for your like little 7:30 timing. Like, you might as well start the storm, get like 2 or 3 Templar built so they can build up energy, and then go for these Zealots.
I see. So you wouldn't get leg speed until later, right?
Yeah, because like it's not gonna help you when it finishes, right? Like, look at this. Like, we have like 3 Zealots, so they're gonna have +1 in speed, but like they're not gonna do anything for a long time.
I see. Okay. And now, adding a bunch of gateways. So the timing is going to be later when the Protoss kind of power spike hits, right?
Yeah.
But the Spire going down now for lightswarm, so it doesn't look like they're going for the fast lurkers, right?
Yeah, it could not be lurker tech this time. Maybe they didn't like to contain. The Spire, I guess it depends. Is the Spire going to be for Scourge? Is it going to be for Mutas to kill Templar? We did see an attempt at that in the first game, but there wasn't that much gas to go around. Oh, never mind. We do see Lurker aspect. So I think we are going to see another contain. Especially like with, okay, we do have 1 Templar coming. No Storm coming yet. The Robo started somewhere.
Yep. It's in the main
here. Yeah. And like, Protoss is gonna have to kill like half the buildings that are natural if it is just to get out of this base. That's the problem with this wall, is that you have to kill like something in that wall to get your goons out later.
Well, Protoss has gone out with like
I didn't even notice. This is much like, this attack actually looks much better for Protoss than the one in game 1. This is like a higher Zealot to Hydra ratio. They're gonna go run this ramp, but I don't think they want to commit here because they will get surrounded. This is nice. Slow down the Zerg just a little bit, put on pressure, and most importantly, not losing those Zealots.
So it's interesting. We've seen Zerg force out a bunch of cannons from Protoss, and now Protoss kind of forcing out some more Hydras, at least from lightswarm. And now lightswarm is actually going into Mutas, so they've got 7 Mutas on the way. So, you know, if our Protoss player Baal is not aware of this, that could be pretty devastating, I think, right? Like, they've got Templar and Goon already, but they're, they've got no cannons in the main, they've got nothing to protect their resource lines, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it depends, like, how many Mutas are made. If it's like 5 or so, that's more for killing Templar. And maybe like baiting out cannons. Oh, never mind. There's like 7 Mutas here I didn't see. So this is a ton of Mutas. It's funny, like, at this time you don't need to get Corsairs if you have like Storm already. And actually look at all these Templar and Goons hanging out in the main.
Yes,
that's really smart. Now there's still an opportunity for Mutas to hit the natural. But the Zealot is going to see them. Very nice.
Yeah, we'll see how the Protoss reacts here. But there's not really anything that they can do, I think, to defend this. Looking at their SimCity here, they've got a Dark Templar coming out, but their pros are going to have to transfer away.
Yeah, can I rant about, like, why does every map have these tiny little naturals? Like, I hate it so much, dude. It's so hard to fit anything in here. Oh my god, that probably has to kill like half their own base together. The Muta's already killed one Templar, and like I feel like Bill is saying, okay, I'd rather just go all in and attack rather than try to get into my own mineral. And
really,
like look at this,
that's a sad
like
feeling, yeah.
Not even trying to defend it, just like, all right, I guess I'll take my army and go try to kill. Oh my god.
So yeah, lightswarm. Ooh, taking a big storm there.
Yeah.
But now heading into the main, so this is going to turn into a base trade, and I don't think this is going to go well for Protoss, to be honest. I think it's pretty hard to, you know, move across the map like this and just, you know, execute a attack so quickly, right?
Yeah, well,
we'll see.
The thing
they
is,
have traits off the mutas, right?
There's no lurkers. And the mutas are very bruised. The mutas are not going to help in the fight. They might snipe a Templar or two, but they're not going to, like, kill the Protoss army. So if these Templar get big storms off on these Hydras, I think Baal can absolutely still win this game, but it's absolutely going to come down to that.
Yeah, and these Hydras are definitely clumped up, but there's a lot of that. Ooh,
all the mutas go down, but they get the last Templar, I think. So it's going to come down to this fight right here. I think Lightswarm has enough Hydras, but they are choked up behind their own Sim City. And this heroic DT and kills a bunch of Hydras.
Yeah,
really close fight
DT
here.
was holding the little... Yeah, but it looks like there is just too much Hydras now, and they're swarming out of here, into the map. And the goons are getting overrun. There's one probe with the goons, and it's being forced back as well. And now, you know, Baal kind of lost a lot of probes there. They lost their whole army. They're at least mining at their mat again, so they dealt with the Mutas threat. But I'm not sure that was what they wanted. They're trading away their whole army.
No, I think this looks really good for Zerg. Like, for us, like, at 13 minutes, like, you want your third base to be finishing, like, thinking about starting your fourth base. You want to have Templar up. Like, you want to have, like, 50 probes. So, yeah, Baal does tap out. And once again, we're going to game 3. And maybe this says more about me than, like, than the matchup. But, like, if my opponent Hydra busts me 2 games in a row, I'm absolutely just going to go 9-9 in game 3. Especially,
really?
Like,
okay,
it's an Eclipse. Like, 2-player map, you can build them, like, you can literally build them in the opponent's natural or whatever. Like, I can tell you, I'm absolutely going to proxy in game 3 if this happens. So we'll see if Baal is more patient than I am here on Eclipse.
So your reasoning behind that, maybe we can get into that, but that's an interesting kind of concept there, I guess.
So I just don't want to deal with it. So here, in the top right, we had the blue Protoss Baal victorious in game 1, but falling to those like surprise mutas in game 2, and then in the bottom left, trying to secure the comeback victory, the Red Zerg Lightswarm.
Yeah, so I guess, so you're saying the reason you wouldn't do that build, right? You're just going for a build that preempts them, a build that hits them before they can hit you,
right?
Kind of thing.
Right. But it seems like Bale's, going to do the objectively good thing and just, stick to what you practiced, right?
Yeah.
Remain emotionally calm.
A stable Protoss player here, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like it really wasn't that much of a big difference from game. Oh, hold on. Oh, this probe. Okay, so this taking a weird route right here. You're not going to find like a Zerg proxy here, but you are going to dodge the Overlord. Maybe make them scared. I'm trying to figure out what this is because it's not going in still. Is it just trying to freak out Zerg with the weird timing? Is it going to be like pretend to be a Forge Expand but actually proxying gates? I'm kind of curious. No, it looks like it is just trying to screw up the timing here. Wait, is it? All right, we are going in here. Is it going to be Cannon Rush? Well, probably not if there is an Overpull again.
Yeah, I wonder what that kind of probe scouting path was all about.
This is 9-hole, by the way. I was wrong
okay.
Based on the Overlord timing. So again, Lightswarm trying to be aggressive here, but Baal again gets the scout off, and we do have these 2 cannons. So maybe if this goes like game 1, Apprentice is going to be feeling pretty good. That one big difference is that these links did cross the map like right away, rather than wasting much time trying to kill this.
Yes.
Probe. But with a long rush distance on Eclipse, it's still fine for Protoss.
Yeah, that is a big difference. It looks like Baal is still going to be able to defend their base, and looks to place a Nexus as well at their NAD expansion. So that is kind of telling that both these players are now just going to kind of macro up and build a bunch of warriors here, as we see a third base going down for a Lightswarm.
Yep. It's going to transition into a normal game, but as we've seen, there's a normal game can always turn into Hydra Bust. Ooh, the probe goes down, gets stuck on those lings there. And if we do see the Hydrogen, it's going to come out pretty soon here.
Yeah, Lightswarm just starting to mine that gas. They are... Okay, so Protoss is sending out a second probe. Let's see what's up. It is getting, hunted down by this ling, however.
Oh, there's the Hydrogen. It's going to be Hydra Bust again. Oh, nice catch here with the lings. Probe is not going to see it.
Yeah, do you send out the third probe? I guess you need some scouting, right? Eventually.
Yeah, so this is something that I've been coached on recently, and I haven't totally mastered yet, but one way to see if they're going for Hydra Bust is you move out with Zealots at 5 minutes and 20 seconds or so. And if they don't have ling speed, they're probably going for Hydra Bust. So that could be Baal's last resort here, but no, we are sneaking out yet another probe. This is I hate I feel like Zerg just knows where it is. And look, you see these lings are already moving. The Overlord saw the probe at the very edge of the vision. The lings are already, they know exactly where it is.
Yeah, these are these probes are not coming back, they're sad probes out there.
Exactly.
But so far, this could be important though if it is able to, discern that there's Hydras on the way. But it looks like okay, sneaking past the third base, heading towards the main, and it is 520, and there is no ling speed, right? So that could be a tell, right?
Yeah. Well, there you go. The Hydras are going to be the tell.
There's even more tell, yeah.
But the fact that this hatchery has started already, and we have the lair, this is even less committal.
Yeah.
To this, but it could be Lightswarm is just counting on there still being a bunch of cannons. Because we've seen Baal be very quick to build a ton of cannons, so Lightswarm could be, saying, all right, I'll basically fake a Hydra Bust, and you'll still make the cannons, which seems to be going exactly to plan.
Yeah, so far, I actually really like the idea of, you're going for this very aggressive play, and then as the 3 games go on, you're kind of phasing it out, and you're just playing more macro as the series goes on.
Yeah, look, there's 2 Hydras here. There's one in the natural, but there's 2 Hydras at the wall, so you actually don't need this many hands. And this is such a smart way to play a series in general, is do different things that actually look the same at the start.
Yes.
It's very, very strong mind games. And look, they're still gonna get they're still gonna get this gateway. There's still 7 cannons. This is a huge victory for Lightswarm here.
Yeah, I think the one tell was, as you said, maybe that probe seeing the 4th hatch could have been enough to be whoa, something's up. But it didn't seem like, Baal maybe predicted it, and so now they're at a little bit of a disadvantage. I don't think it's necessarily like over here.
Yeah, it's not game over. It's just like Zerg is gonna feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, considering they won game 2 and they were in a, I would say, less advantageous position around this time.
Yeah.
But they are going for their Spire now, and they're dropping another hatch, as well as getting an Evo.
No, I'm kind of interested. So Protoss started the air attack. Maybe seeing the Spire go up quickly. It's interesting because like usually if you go for air attack, you're going to start it like right after the Stargate. So this is like a reaction to something.
Okay.
And like we're already getting upgrades on 2 forges.
Yeah.
So hopefully Baal can make these Corsairs work. The thing about the Corsairs is like on paper, it should be good to go for them even like against the Zerg with no Spire, because like if you have like unlimited APM, you can just pick apart the Overlords and punish them for their own Hydras and stuff. But that's really hard to do. So like it's gonna be pretty tough for Baal to pull that off. But if it does work, it'll look really cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of Corsairs as well, just because it is kind of a annoying thing for Zerg to have to deal with, and you can protect your Templar a little bit, right, from the mutas.
Yeah, especially that makes sense. Like after seeing the mutas in game 1 and 2, Baal's not gonna deal with that again. And look, there are fewer Hydras here. These Zealots can actually just straight up fight them. So Baal still finds a way to punish Lightswarm for this greed.
Yeah, some nice kind of kiting with the Zealots, damaging quite a few of these Hydras as well as killing a few more. So now the Zealots moving across the map.
Oh, and they find these mutas too.
Ooh, so they did run into some mutas. So now they're heading back, and I wonder about this muta attack here, because they're actually outnumbered by Corsair, or it's 5-5, right? So.
Looks like the air attack was canceled to get their green range started. And of course, like I bet Baal was like, okay, there's no mutas, I can cancel the +1. And then immediately saw the mutas, like, oh man, super tilting. Yeah. But we already have 5 Corsairs. There's not that many mutas. So that's fine. But I am concerned, like, we have lurkers morphing already. The Robo's not quite done. There's no goons. Like range is coming. There's no Templar. Again, the Templar tech is pretty late here. This is looking better and better for Zerg. Yeah, here comes the lurkers. So they've got a stick setup here right outside the net for Protoss. So again, it looks like another somewhat lurker containment setup. They don't really have anything to deal with the Zealots. They're already across the map, however, and now they're forcing back these mutas with the Corsair, and they're going to get some Overlords, which is always nice. And there go the Zealots being delivered right into the Zerg net, and now they're running by into the main. So they're going right past the few Hydra that were there. And what are they going to focus? It looks like they're taking out some drones, forcing a drone pull. And these Corsairs are going to force these mutas away. This is a ton of damage going on in the main of Zerg. All the drones are pulled. The tech is in danger. All these Hydras are being pulled to defend this. Like the Spire is down. It's huge. I think all the mutas died to the Corsairs. This is a huge play for Baal. The lair itself might go down. Reset the tech back to the Stone Age. Won't be able to get the Hydra Den, but definitely going to be super annoying for Zerg. And it's going to buy time for the Robo to get up, for the Storm to come out, and Goose to pop. So that basically brought Baal back in the game. Like, if that didn't happen, I think it was going to be an easy Lightswarm victory.
Definitely like a good play, right? From Protoss. Yeah. They did lose all those Zealots, but taking out the lair, taking out the Spire, they definitely have a tech advantage, I would say. Protoss is now feeling pretty comfy. They know exactly also what Zerg has been up to. They're not really worried about a next step. They've added on a bunch of gateways.
Yeah, wow. And look at this. There's no Overlords near the Protoss base. So we aren't going to see those Observer snipes. And these DTs that are popping might be able to just kill these lurkers really easily. And that is really huge. Like, that could completely take the wind out of the sails of this Zerg can contain. And there's no lair. Like, the lair was just rebuilt. We do have the Overlord speed coming, but it's going to be a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that Overlord speed is very delayed here, so that's going to be kind of difficult for Zerg to deal with. And here's the first DT.
Oh, look at this.
Picking away.
This feels like justice right now. Like
okay, sure. Yeah, only you would say that. The invisible unit no one can attack. It's just running around murdering people in the night, and you're like, this feels like justice.
Hey, it's an invisible unit killing an invisible unit with an invisible unit. Like, right? So, like, I think that's, you know, that's fair play. That's like,
no sympathy for the lurker. You're right. You're right.
Exactly. Like, they deserve it. The Hydra, maybe. You know, the Hydra is like hardworking, everyman unit, but the lurker is cheating. So it's fine if they get killed, but easy. And here we go. We do have a very scary looking Protoss army now. There's a lot of goons, a lot of Templar. And
yeah, but kind of missing some zealots, right?
Yeah, I mean, you probably stop making zealots when you see these lurkers, which you might regret now. But if Storms can get all over this big ball of Hydras, Bell's gonna feel very good about this. And look, more damage being dealt by this Corsairs, continuing to have value here. Ooh, big Storm on the Hydras, also damage on the High Templar.
Yeah, this is a good position for our Protoss player Ball here, right? They've just taken this high ground, and now what is Zerg going to do? They can't really run up here with their Hydras, right? They're just going to die to Storm. So now, can they counterattack? Like, what's their next play that Zerg can make here?
Yeah, I mean, well, here we go. Before we talk about that, we do have Storms all over the Hydras. Protoss trying to go down. There's a huge arc of Zerg. The Corsairs are being picked off. Not that many goons left. Yeah. Storm, though, oh my god, like, both sides taking big damage, but overall the Storms are going to win this for Baal right now. I think Baal wants to retreat, though, especially with these Templars walking in here.
Yeah, like you said, those Templar are kind of getting a little ahead of the army and not really casting their Storms. I'm not sure if they had energy, and now the Hydras have kind of swung things for Zerg, so maybe Protoss should have just stayed up on that high ground, it looks like.
Yeah. It's really hard to know that in the game, but like, you commit like slightly too hard to Protoss with your Templar. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Now, what I was gonna say is, like, this third is still kind of late from Protoss. So if Zerg was able to send a few units over to delay it, that'd be really good. But now Protoss has to worry about dying.
Yeah, they're not really going to be able to defend this third base, are they? They've got some cannons morphing over there. They don't have a Templar on that high ground, though, so this Zealot is just going to get killed really fast here.
Oh my god,
there's a DT still wandering around.
Finishes too.
So
Baal is going to try to save this, but I think there's way too many Hydras here for that to work.
Yeah, and they kind of no Templar, right? So they're gonna have to wait for some more Storms before they move out again. I think there's so many Hydras already out on the map.
Yeah, man, this game like turned on a dime twice. Like, it was looking really good for Lightswarm and then really good for Baal, and then really good for Lightswarm one more time. Lightswarm even getting that fourth. Yeah, granted, this fourth is pretty late for Zerg, but it's also gonna be pretty safe, and Protoss is in danger of mining out of these two bases, right? Like, there's only a couple hundred minerals in each of these patches. That's really like do or die for Baal right now.
Ooh, yeah, you're definitely right about that. So they need to establish a new base.
Yeah, like, I mean, they need to get two bases now to stay on two mining bases. Like, they need to get a third and a fourth.
So this might be the last fight they can kind of manufacture an army for, as they are going to mine out, as you said. They are kind of trying to cross the high ground again, so not really looking to expand it, looks like. Maybe just trying to, again, end it here.
Yeah, it's like, I think Lightswarm is too big for that right now. Like, if Lightswarm just only makes Hydras... Oh my god, look at this. Like, Lightswarm is even on Hive Tech now. I didn't even think about that. So I think you're right. I think this is Baal's like last chance to get a victory here. It's going to going to come down to the storms. How much energy do we have? We only have 2 Templar, and they each only have, like, you know, like 10 or 20 seconds. They might have the energy for 2 storms each. Oh, here we go, 2 more. So we're looking at like 4 to 6 storms here. That's a good one to start off with.
Pretty good, yeah.
Doing a good job dodging that storm.
Wow, is this enough protoss here?
This is a very close fight. I think it's going to come down. Oh my god, lightswarm taps out before the reinforcements even show up. Baal, I think, like, absolutely just won that at the last possible second for Protoss. Just hitting lightswarm at the like right before they got the power spec from the hive tech. And that is going to put the score between these 2 teams so far to 4-2. So widening a lead in favor of GOSU. That was a really, really hard fought series there. And that was only our 2nd series tonight. We've had some
pretty good games already. Yeah.
And we're going to go into another PvZ with Stanel and Type 100.
Sick.
RoyalBlue's like, where are the siege tanks? The spider mines.
Yeah. I want spider mines.
Yeah. Tell me these units have to move around to do anything?
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. You're like complaining about busting out of 30 contains. I'm like, someone has never been recalled, so it's okay.
Alright. In the top right of butter in the red Protoss, it's Stanel fighting for Team GOSU. And in the bottom right, in the green Zerg, it's Type 100 on UED. So, Stanel, I want to talk about briefly. Like, when I started casting for like CPL 5, I was casting Stanel in Tier 3. And like each season, he's gotten promoted. And now he's like one of the better players in Tier 0. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I haven't like contributed to that in any way, but like, I still feel proud. Like looking at it, right? Like, it's really cool.
That is very cool, and that's a thing about CPL. I think technically we all play each other, so I'm saying you contributed to that.
Right, like I might have like helped him practice against somebody. You know, I helped somebody that he played against or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Oh, and
definitely,
I was just saying, I think we're going to see Gateway expand here, so it'd be good to see something different. Well, never mind. I'm not sure what this probe's doing anymore. Because I thought, you know, there's this thing where, like, if the probe builds a pylon and then leaves, it's forage. If the probe builds a pylon, mines one thing from the natural, and then comes back to the natural, it's Gateway. But Stanel told that probe to go back to mining. So this is probably going to be like Nexus first, or like Forge on 12 maybe. So yeah, lame. I thought we were going to see Gateway. So I've heard about Forge on 12. I think it's like I've heard about it on Eclipse, but you know, this is a similar map strategically, so it makes sense to me. And now we do have a hatch. Oh no, we don't have hatchery first. Never mind. I thought we were going to maybe see a chance for a cannon rush. That's not what we're going to see here.
So, what's the advantage to Forge on 12 then? It's just slightly more probes out, I guess, earlier?
Like more economy, like you don't lose the money from having the probe scouting. And like it's still going to be up in time to build the cannons. Like, you don't, it's not like riskier. The reason you don't do it on a 4-player map is because you have to scout earlier.
Okay. So it's pretty much just a slight optimization on the Forge Fast Expand, is that we're just going to get some more probes out earlier. We know we're not going to die. Here we see Zerg has gone, some kind of, what was this, overpull?
Yeah, I think it's overpull.
And now only one cannon is going to be enough. Sending out a second probe here to scout again.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot in these last 2 series. Like, Protoss is just like, no, I'm just going to keep sending this probe out until you let me see
Which I can't blame them for it, really.
Right.
If you think of how fragile Protoss is against Zerg in the early game, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
How else are you gonna scout, right? Like, you kind of have nothing else.
Yeah, this is a big reason why I like Gateway Expand, is like, even if I overcommit with the Zealots and they die, like, I'm gonna get in your base. I'm gonna see what you're doing. And it feels much more comfortable than just like, well, I hope he doesn't find my probe with his legs.
Yeah, that's a good point. At least you're sending out Zealots sometimes instead of probes.
Yeah. It's like, I think maybe I like force slings or maybe kill like a drone. You know what I mean? It's like, and like they can't like block my scouting with two lings on the ramp.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're finally not going to see a Hydra Best game. It is a quick layer here from Type 100. Meanwhile, looking like a very standard build out as stanel. Getting the Stargate in the natural is kind of funny. I don't know if it's like to dodge the Overlord or just like that's where he was looking when he had the money.
Yeah. It's like you said, I guess this nat is a little bigger than the nat on Goodnight, right? So it's not as hard, but do you really want a bunch of buildings here?
No, I do not want the Stargate there. Like, I want the Stargate like in the corner of my main where it's not in the way of anything. It's going to be we're going to see, I assume, 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra, the like standardist of standard builds in this matchup for Zerg. Ooh, a quick goon here, trying to kill the hanging Overlord, but gets punished by Lings. This goon is like, so I think Stanel is like trying to mind game Zerg, but Zerg is like not even looking at Stanel, so it doesn't matter. Like, you know, because like Zerg might send an Overlord into the main to see what tech you're doing. So if you hide your tech in the natural, that's good. And then if you build the goon, they're going to think that you skip the Stargate.
Okay.
It doesn't even look like Type 100 is doing anything that they would do if they thought Protoss was skipping Stargate. So it's like, not a big deal. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a little mind game that kind of doesn't look like it's paying off, but I guess go for it anyway, right? There's kind of no harm in it. Going goon first here maybe would be more vulnerable to a Hydra Buzz, but we know that's not coming here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the Corsair has already killed one Overlord, which is always nice, and now it's getting to see the Zerg base. It's going to see a Lair and a Spire, so I think it's going to get out of there.
Yeah, we have Air Carapace coming up, but just one pair of Scourge. Oh, never mind. Here we go. All right at the time we have these mutas coming up. So it's a good thing for Protoss that they're getting the +1 attack, because if you don't have the attack upgrade and Zerg has the armor upgrade, it's like basically impossible to kill anything.
Really? Is that how it is?
Well, so okay, no, look, this is not whining. This is real. Okay, this is math. Like, so if you look at the Corsair damage, they do 5 damage, but they deal half damage to small units like mutas and Scourge. So if they have 1 armor, instead of doing 2.5 damage, they do 1.5 damage. Like, that's brutal. Like, that's so bad. It's like almost a 50% cut. So you absolutely do not want to fall behind on the upgrades.
Okay, so knowing that Zerg getting this Carapace upgrade or this armor upgrade on their air means that they're most likely committed or gonna commit to some mutas, right?
Yeah, we did see some mutas out. It's also just a nice reaction to seeing these Corsairs come out like with a +1 attack. It doesn't have to be like all in mutas. It might be more for Scourge. And I think given what we're seeing, like if you're gonna go for mutas, like you get, well, I was about to say you're gonna get the 2nd and 3rd gas, but those are actually taken already. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about at all. Let's see here.
Yeah, they definitely invested heavily in Scourge. We're seeing them building more, but they are also teching into Hydras right now. And yeah, Stanel behind this getting Storm as well. There is a lot of Corsair though. Okay, here comes the Scourge. So it looks like he's going to try to lure out the Corsair. The mutas are kind of being like, here, chase us.
But that +1 attack finishes a few seconds before the armor. So Corsair has to get big damage. Oh, but so many Scourge finally connect. Heavy damage on the air armies of both sides. Zealots retreat rather than take much free damage from the mutas.
Yeah, I like that trade, I think, for Zerg. I'm not sure. They did take a lot of damage on their mutas. We'll see. I think it's very expensive, right, to replace all those Corsair.
Yeah, it's 100 gas for each one. It's basically Templar you can't buy. But, I mean, these Corsairs are going to wipe out the last mutas here.
Yeah, the Scourge do take them out eventually, though. And so now there's 8 Zealots heading down towards 6 o'clock, and there's only like 1 Hydra.
There's not that many Hydras. There's more coming, but the Zealots could run amok here in this third base. 3 of them on the Sunken, and the rest are in the mineral line. Some reinforcements coming from the main, but on Butter there is this retreat pad. Now I think Stanley's just going to commit to fighting here.
Yeah, there are all the Hydras that kind of marched out, and there's a lot of drones here for Type 100, but I think this was a good attack for Stanley. They seem to have done some decent economic damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many drones went down. I think it was like 3 or 4. By the way, I think it's really funny that this, like, it's like not the main hatchery at this third base that the drones are mining gas with.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? I think it's just kind of funny. Thing is, like, I think, like, even if that attack did good damage, like, losing the Zealots is pretty rough, because now Zerg knows that your next attack is not going to be as strong.
Yeah, and Zerg actually taking this opportunity to counterattack, sending a bunch of Hydras across and seeing if they can deny this base that it looks like Stanel was maybe trying to take at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now Stanel fighting again with maybe a smaller army than they wanted. Yes, nice storms.
Shutting down this Hydra counterattack, and I think that is going to let Stanel get this third base up here. And we don't see Zerg going for a 4th yet. Oh, I made this one drone at the 9 o'clock base. Might have been a misclick, aiming for that more normal 4th position.
Yeah, the Corsair again going to catch an Overlord here in the middle of the map. And Stanel sending their army over towards that 9 o'clock location. So I guess it's nice to get on this high ground, but I think right now with all these different attack paths, wouldn't Protoss be better suited to be like more defensive? I don't know.
Yeah, I think right now Protoss definitely wants to be defensive. Like, there's very little to defend these Templar right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe wait for like 1 or 2 more waves of units, like regroup everything, and then you're gonna have a dangerous push. As it is, we might have, we have these 2 small armies running past each other. Stanel got all the way over here. There's no base coming, so there's no base to shut down. And so forth. I saw 10 lurkers in production. They are spread out between the 3rd and the natural. That's going to be really hard to break for Stanel right now. And these Hydras might go in to try to deny this 3rd of Protoss, and there are 3 cannons already, and these Zealots are going to get here in time. So it's just annoying Protoss, but the base is going to stay up.
Yeah, the cannons kind of being the insurance there. They cost about as much as the Nexus, so unfortunate to lose all 3 of those cannons to the Hydra attack here. But not so bad, at least keeping that Nexus alive. And now Stanel is on even basis with Type 100, so that's definitely a positive factor for Protoss, I would say, at this time. There is, yeah, like you said, a lot of lurkers, so it's going to be hard to break Zerg, you know.
Yeah.
At least if they want to get their high tech out, which it looks like the high tech is, you know, about halfway.
I do want to see Stanel just be a bit more aggressive with the army now. Like, you have more Templar, you have more goons, 1 Archon there. Like, you don't have to commit to a fight, but you do want to go pressure Zerg a little bit. At least, like, you know, if Zerg was coming to fight you, you would want to fight them in the middle rather than outside your own base. So definitely want to be out on the map with your army right now. And there we go. We see Stanel starting to move out. Trying to take advantage of this high ground.
Yeah, so they took out, they sent out their Corsair, which did die, but at least it scouted that this fourth base is now finally being taken by Type 100. And so they are able to time their own fourth base and do a push. So they're pushing the attack down here, kind of fighting in a small engage though.
Ooh, and the Templar are really far behind. Stanel being really aggressive with these units. There we go. We do finally have Templar showing up. Huge storms all over the Zerg defenders here. Some Lynx trying to flank from the back, but they get cleaned up. These Lurkers are doing really well in this choke, but I think it might just be too many storms.
Yeah, I gotta say, Stanel was very aggressive, just kind of throwing their goons in there, but it looks like there is enough Protoss with those storms to overwhelm the Zerg forces here at the fourth base, and so they're killing all the Lurkers.
Yeah, I think Protoss is going to take out the space, and that's going to put Stanel in a great position in this game. We do have the final wave of reinforcements. Oh, one of these Zerg goes down. The Templar are getting picked off. Zergers get burned in a dangerous position, but there we go. The last couple storms are going to help clean them up. So I think this army might end up going down, but at a huge cost for Zerg. Oh my god, look at that. Type 100 even built drones at the fourth base, assuming that it would get cleaned up.
So that's unfortunate. And now sending in some Overlords, which are also going to die. I think this is kind of it for Type 100. It looks like they've lost this fourth base. Stanel has their own fourth base. I'm not sure. They sent in a lot of Lurkers there to try and defend that base, and they didn't really... At first, they were fighting very well.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end there, they sent in like 4 that kind of died really quickly.
Yeah, I think Type 100 needed like a bit more map vision to see the attack coming and try to reposition more Lurkers at that base. Like that is, as much as it pains me to admit, that is one of the hard things for Zerg, is like it's hard to move your Lurkers around to the correct position. And your whole army, like you can't even like hockey your whole army, so you have to constantly find where all your hydras are and like box select them and stuff. So it is hard to move your army around like that. And Stanel took advantage of that and was able to kill that fourth base. That's gonna take us into game 2. I am gonna take a very quick bathroom break before this game. I'll put the lobby end to that. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for sticking around. Is RoyalBlue here? Uh-oh, RoyalBlue is also not here. Okay. We will wait for RoyalBlue.
No, I'm back. We can go.
Great. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Let's get into game 2. Alright. The top right of Good Night, victorious in game 1. It's the red Protoss, iRk-stanel. And the bottom right, the green Zerg Type 100. Alright, so this, like I mentioned on Good Night, the top right base also has a weird wall. Or the potential for a weird wall. So we'll see if Stanel knows how to get around that awkward wall or not.
The first test of PvZ.
Exactly.
Yeah. How's your Sim City looking? It's always fun. So one way to get around that would be to build gateways in the middle of the map or something like that.
Right. That we did. Yeah, you don't have to worry about walling. If your gateways are in the enemy base, it's fine. I think the way this is positioned, we can get into a regular wall. And given that it's a 4-player map, we're not going to go for that 12 forge. Yeah, kind of later scout, which makes sense, but Stanel is going to get lucky and get the first scout up. Ooh, Zerg. Is Zerg going for... I don't think Zerg going for an overpool. I think we are going to see hatchery first. Oh. It's like a... These drones were before the pool. It's kind of weird. It's like an 11 pool or something. Interesting.
Okay, so yeah, there's the forge going down for Stanel. I'm not sure.
Oh, wait a minute. So, did Stanel like didn't actually check the bottom right? Oh, okay. So Stanel did the thing where you checked. He checked the 3 o'clock base.
Yeah.
But Type 100 took a different route with the Overlord, so it didn't pay off.
Ooh.
So now Stanel's getting screwed by that trick. That's why I stopped doing that.
So Stanel's
Stanel
very
has
unlucky here.
Yeah.
Which good play from Type 100, right? It's a little bit of a mind game.
Yeah.
You know Stanel. Maybe Stanel scouts like this. Most Protoss, I would say, scout like this.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not even that bad for the Zerg to do this with the Overlord. Like, if you are going to go hatch first, that Overlord will, like, look for cannon rush and stuff. So it's not a bad play all around. Stanel does get in there. Unfortunately, Type 100 was not going for, like, 4 pool or something, so it's not really going to change the game that much. And it is the more normal wall here, so there's going to be a gap above the gateway, but both zealots and lineage can get through there, so it's not super awkward.
Yeah, so it looks like they're both just kind of going to macro up now. Third hatch, right, for Type 100 at 6 o'clock, and there's the Nexus finishing up pretty much for Stanel.
Yeah, it looks like both players are going back to what worked in game 1. No big shakeups here. I do want to see if we see the Stargate in the natural again with the fake out goon or something else. Ooh, there's 2 probes that are scouting Type 100 now. One just left the third, and one's in the main.
That's multitasking right there. That's pretty impressive. Because, these probes will die if you're not on top of it, I guess.
Yep.
But one is retreating back.
Yeah.
With some minerals, so that's always good.
The lair here was very fast. Stanel might even get to the lair finish, which will definitely remove any fear of a Hydra bust. There we go, did see it. That spire's gonna go down somewhere.
Yeah, it looks like they chose 6 o'clock to place their spire, so that's definitely going to take a little while to get scouted.
That's interesting. Like, there's a chance that spire gets killed if stanel has a really good, like, zealot push.
Okay.
Like, it's not... it's probably like a 20 to 30% chance, I would say. but, it'll be a huge deal if it does happen.
Okay. Yeah, so... You're saying, like, the 7:30 timing or whenever the +1 upgrade finishes,
Yeah.
Let's say the Zealots move across the map, they might just focus down the spire. They might not even worry about anything else if they do happen to get to that 6 o'clock phase, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. Like, if Type 100, doesn't make enough Lings or Hydras, tries to rely on Sunk to the natural or something, and Stanel just goes, I'm going to go to your third. And you're like, oh, there's a spire there. Like, okay.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I think Type 100 also is most likely aware of that and is hoping to not allow a Protoss force make it to 6 o'clock even or anything like that. But here's the first Corsair, so I think it is going to get over there and see the spire.
Well, that is another part of this. Like, the Corsair might just go to the natural and main. Like, might be like, well, that's weird. There's no spire, and then not. Stanel might just try to kill an Overlord and get killed by Scourge or something. Certainly a chance of that as well. And things like it seems like it's not falling for it. It seems like it's like, okay, no, you didn't get this layer for no reason. You have some text somewhere. Is gonna does absolutely fall for it. So Type 100 gets a pick off on the first Corsair. Very nice. Scourge here in the main of Protoss, scouting everything out. Seeing that all the tech looks very normal. My cat is trying to knock all my stuff off my desk.
Yeah, again, it looks like +1 for the air weapons, at least for the Corsairs, for Stanel. And then we also see the armor upgrade for the Zerg Air, so... Again, maybe a bit of an air battle going on here. At least both players are teching up.
Yeah, it's funny, when I started learning StarCraft 1, basically around when Remastered came out, this is what every PvC looked like. Gateway Expand wasn't really that popular. There wasn't Hydra Bust. It was Forge Expand into 730 against 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra. Every time. So it's kind of funny to see this come back. Lately, people have been going for Gateway Expand. People have been doing Hatch First. There's Hydra Bust. Some Protoss have been skipping Stairs, and some Zerg have been skipping Spire. But I guess these builds were standard for 15 years for a reason. Oh, the Zealots managed to sneak past this handful of Mitas.
Yeah, are they going to get down there?
They're going for the third.
Well, maybe they'll help out because the Spire is mannering this gas pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
God, yeah, look at that. Yeah. These drones to get the wrong way around. Oh, the Zealots turn around at the in the end zone there.
Yeah, inches away from the touchdown.
So the Spire gets to live another day.
And it is going to complete its upgrade as well, so that's a bonus for Zerg, right?
For sure.
I don't know. I think it is nice to save these 8 Zealots. I'm not sure I would have dove on the Spire in that situation.
Yeah, it's the right decision to make. I don't know. I feel like if you get to kill some drones, it's definitely worth it. But it's probably the safer choice to not commit your whole Grand Army to that. But we do have a bunch of Corsairs here with +1 air attack, so definitely enough to scare away these Mutas. After that first Corsair died to Scourge, Stanley will be very careful with the rest of them.
Yeah, Sentinel building up to 60 probes here, so definitely looking, I would say, to take a third base in this game and play it more slow, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like too many probes for 2 bases. Like, you're supposed to stop at like 44, and then you're going to start probe reduction when you go for that third. But if you're not making as many gateways, it's fine. And like we could be seeing a 6 gateway into 3 base. I think we saw Sentinel try to do that in the first game, and then just ended up making 2 more gateways anyway in the meantime.
Yeah, moving out again with a bunch of Zealots, just a few Templar and all their Corsair. There's a good, amount of Scourge engaging with the Corsair, and they take out all the Corsair. Yeah,
that engage. This engage is going so well for Zerg. Like the Templar got killed, the Corsair got blasted by the Scourge, and these Beatles are just going to pick at these Zealots. Just so many Zealots, but Stanel doesn't want to commit them all to trying to take out a base from Zerg or something. So just has to retreat in, and that's an absolutely huge victory for Zerg here. Like there's no Templar left. Well, I'll say that there's a bunch of new Templar being made, but there's like all the Corsairs are done. Like 2 or 3 Templar died at very little cost to Zerg. So.
Yeah, I wonder what the play is here from Protoss now. It looks like they are going to try to take that third base, but yeah, they lost pretty much all their anti-air. They lost their good tech units besides their Zealots, and that's really what's difficult to replenish here, especially with only 2 gas, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, Stanel's definitely gearing up to take this third base, but. Is mineral only. I take these bases. Like it's mineral only. It's less mineral. It's not even like in a good position. Like on a high ground. It's just in a little low ground. But like,
yeah,
sucks.
So you said you do take them or you don't? Take them?
I mean, sometimes you have to, but I just don't like them. Like I feel bad whenever whenever the rotational symmetry makes me take them.
Okay. Yeah, it's always nice to have an extra base, right? Even if it is just minerals.
Yeah, obviously. Well, these mutas kind of being forgotten here by Type 100. They get wiped out, which is a nice victory for Protoss, and the Templar show up just in time.
Yeah, these Hydras trying to fight up the ramp here. The Zealots getting right on top of them, but now the Lurkers forcing those Zealots back. I don't see any Observer with this army, so I don't think Stanel's going to be able to get down onto this mineral-only base for Type 100. But they have, I think, traded pretty well to get over here.
Oh, the Robo's not even done yet. It's just about to finish, and that is a big problem for Protoss. It basically means that these Zerg bases are invincible. They get some detection in here. But we did get the third base up. I haven't transferred any probes to it yet, which is actually kind of a big deal given that, like, we have more probes than we should at this time. And look at the main; it's like almost mined out.
Yeah, and really, Stanel, I think, is trying to take 12 o'clock as well, and that's kind of been delayed now by this one lane, which is unfortunate. And now getting a nice, actually kind of worth it to see those storms.
Yeah, big storms there. We got a lot of Hydras and a few Zealots. But still, like, Stanel can't really, like, take advantage of this. Like, there's no Observer, and even if there was, like, this army is mostly Zealots now. Definitely wants to retreat before losing everything, but, well, chooses to go in. These Lurkers are going to have a field day here with these Zealots.
Yeah, now we're seeing all the Zealots just kind of evaporating, and that's not what you want to see for Protoss. But they have, taken this third base, and they're going to look to set up this fourth base, which they finally cleared that location as well. So now it's going to be, can they replenish their Templar count, which it just doesn't look like they have the gas to do so. I just don't see it,
Yeah, like, this is quite a few goons, but that does eat into your gas count. And if you lose those Templar, it takes a lot of gas and time to rebuild that. Rebuild all the storms that you need. I think you're right. Like this, like pure gateway armies have a really rough time, especially there's still no Observer. Like where is the detection? The Robo's done. There's an Observer hanging out in the natural, not with the army though. the meantime, the Hive Tech is done for Zerg. Like, Adrenal is coming, Consume is coming. Gateway Man is not quite going to cut it without Templar.
Good news for Protoss, though, they have kind of re-macroed out their army, if that makes sense. They were at such a small army size before.
Yeah.
Now they do have at least a base of goons. Hopefully they can take this third gas and get that base up and running. And then they're going to be on kind of even bases. Okay, it looks like Zerg is now taking 3 o'clock, right?
Stanel trying to pressure in here. Still a Templar, but a lot of Gateway units.
Yeah, a lot of Gateway units, but I'm really not liking the idea of trying to engage up here into all these links.
Yeah. Thankfully, just went too hard here.
Yeah, I think this is the right play, right? You're just kind of, poking around, trying to see if there's an opening and not wanting to commit.
I'm trying to posture for this 6 o'clock base, and there's no lurkers here, just a few links and 1 sunken, so this army might be enough to do some serious damage here.
Really? So do you think Stanel goes up this ramp, though? Because
well, he's certainly trying to. I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
Yeah.
These surround. It could be deadly here. These lurkers get in a good position. We do have the Observer. Oh my god, look at these Adrenal links. There's so much damage to these goons and zealots. And the lurkers adding a lot of splash damage on here. I think this commitment was a step too far for Stanel.
Yeah, maybe a couple storms there could have been really nice, especially with all the way the links were kind of funneling in, but no Templar with that army. And now Stanel is getting counterattacked over here at 12 o'clock. They do have some cannons over there, so they're going to buy the Nexus some time. But I think the kind of tempo now has swung, whereas Zerg's going to be doing the attacking now.
Yeah, Protoss, there's a lot of units, but they're kind of scattered out through all these bases, and still not a lot of High Templar. It's mostly Zealots and Goons. And it just, mathematically does not trade efficiently against a late-game Zerg army. You really need those splash units. Although this fight is kind of being bungled a bit here from Type 100, units coming in small groups at a time, letting these Zealots overpower them. You have 1 lurker here. Get a bunch of free shots off. There, finally, an Observer shows up. Stanel trying to expand to the top left, but 1 well-placed ling is going to kill that probe.
Yeah, Stanel not wanting to bring the whole army over there, just going to send a couple Zealots to deal with that force. Yeah, but it looks like another group of links is heading over there.
Yeah, it's the constant escalation. Okay, you send 2 Zealots, and then they send 8 links, and then you send 4 Zealots, and they send 24 links.
Yeah.
But this, a 1DT, certainly is going to be able enough to hold on to the space for Protoss for a while. Just have to get another probe in there.
So now we see Defiler with Plague is kind of out there, so they do get a Plague off on some Zealots in the middle.
Nice manage. Does manage to get the Defiler, though.
Yeah, and a big Zerg army now headed up to deny that base, so it was kind of here's the escalation, right?
Yeah, and Stanel, unfortunately, took those units elsewhere, so these leads are going to get in here. I guess, fortunately, there's nothing built yet. It's just this 1 pylon. But overall, Stanel would rather have an expansion coming up here. Look at how much of this army is just Zealots for Stanel. You need 4 gas to deal with this late game Hive Tech Zerg. And it's hard to get on these maps with these mineral only thirds. You need to keep the momentum rolling and getting more bases, and Stanel's had a hard time doing that here.
Yeah, we see Type 100 with basically 70 drones, so as many drones as they're ever going to need here. They're starting to accumulate the huge bank of minerals now. So they're able to kind of mass these lings, which they're just massing and sending across the map in these kind of lines, which aren't really doing too much to Stanel, but they are attracting attention, I guess.
Yeah, it's constantly creating problems for Stanel here, so it's hard to expand. But you see an expansion trying to go up in the natural at the top left, but with the Defilers showing up, I mean, just these lanes are going to start to get really deadly here with the Plague and Dark Swarm on the Protoss units. Still not that many Templar for Protoss. There's a few Archons at least. Seems like Santa manages to stabilize for at least a little bit here. The one thing is the Type 100 expansion has not been super fast either. Oh, look at all these links that were hiding in the top left come down the ramp, and one or two cannons is not going to do it.
Yeah.
We have a few Protoss units here, but these links I think are just going to straight up kill the Nexus before they die. Yeah, look at how quickly they do it.
Yeah, so, and here we see, okay, so Stanel now sending their army up to deal with that first group of lings being kind of enveloped now by a bunch of lurker ling, which is streaming across the map. So now, I don't know, Stanel's not been able to set up this extra base and take their fourth gas, so it looks like they're kind of ended here. Even though they've managed to limit Zerg's expansions, it kind of doesn't matter if Protoss isn't able to take another base out.
Yeah. Like, Protoss is only mining from 2 bases right now, and Zerg is, very spread out drones, but is mining from 3 bases with the 4th one ready. Looking pretty good for Zerg. And now these last 2 bases for Stanel that are mining are in danger from the lurkers on this high ground.
Yeah, Type 100 kind of slowly surrounding Stanel here. They've got one base set up at 3 o'clock. Now they're trying to take over at 12 o'clock as well. So Stanel kind of getting, closed in here. They've got a few cannons, but they can't really reinforce 12 anymore, right? So they're trying to get a Reaver up there.
Yep. These Reavers can be really good at locking down a position, but the Lings are already in the base. They're built late.
Yeah, the Reavers gotta morph out here and then start building some Scarabs.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of these probes going down here. Yeah. Sad Reaver going down.
Doesn't even get one shot up, unfortunately. You think they would just come with some Scarabs? When they warp them in, can they just build some Scarabs back at home? Sadly, no. Stanel does tap out. That's going to bring us to yet another Game 3. I feel like this whole season there have been so many 2-0s. And now tonight, every series is going to Game 3.
I like it. That's what it's all about. Game 3.
We're going to be back on Eclipse. Alright, here in the top right of Eclipse, once again in the green Zerg is Type 100, and the bottom left, the red Protoss, iRk-stanel, trying to close it out before Type 100 can finish this comeback. Now Eclipse, I want to say, it's funny to me that Zerg players will complain about it and say that it's input for Protoss because it's a 50-50 win rate. It's uh-oh, it's an even game, so
yeah,
Zerg is scared. Looks like So we did see Stanel go for that like 12 forge late scout build on Butter, and it seems like we are going to see that again here.
Okay.
On Eclipse, which is the map I heard it was good for, so that makes sense. And Type 100 is not going for 9 pool, like we saw Lightswarm do a few times. It looks like it will be an overpool here.
Oh, there's a gateway going down, right?
Oh my god, it is a gateway. Hey, it's not the 12 forge, it's a gateway. Here we go. Finally, something different. Exciting. Dynamic. Aggressive. Very nice. Actually, so with overpool, it's like you almost don't even need to like move out with the zealots. It's like they have less larvae and you force them to make more lings. So like if you're really confident, you can like get your core before your forge and just sit back and enjoy a nice advantage in the game. See how this actually plays out here. Probe and Drone fighting in the Zerg natural. Stanel loses his nerve first, pulls it back, but does go for the pylon block. I've heard so many different things about whether or not it's good to do this, or like if it's good to build it and then cancel it, or just leave it. I'm pretty sure in this scenario it's bad to leave it. Yeah, we do have Stanel canceling it.
Yeah, so it looks like Type 100 is not really two-phased, just going to 12 o'clock and taking that base. But the first Zealot is already on the way. There is 6 Zerglings out already for Type 100, so I think they've got enough to deal with this first Zealot.
Yeah,
and seeing that,
the Zealot does pull back, which is smart. Like, if you have really good micro, like, you can kill 4 Lings with a Zealot and a Probe, but you're gambling on having much better micro than the Zerg, and, like, if they have 6 Lings, like, no, just don't bother, just go home. Like, you've already won, like, a small victory by forcing them to make that many Lings.
Yeah, so this is the part that I kind of wonder about, right? So now we've got 6 Lings who are able to kind of harass Protoss, and since Protoss doesn't have a Forge and cannons, they've only got Zealots, which Zealots are not bad, right? But they're not as mobile, right?
Well, the problem here is that Stanel didn't have all the Zealots together. Like, kind of what you do is you put your both Zealots on the ramp, you buy time for the third one to come out of the gateway, and then you have 3 Zealots to like 6 or 8 Lings, which is fine. It's scary, but it's fine. And overall, I think this is fine for Protoss. Like, getting the Forge up over the core is not like the ideal scenario, but it's not good over either. These Lings, like, they're going to be annoying, but there's not nearly enough from Type 100 to like actually kill a gateway or end the game, I think. Well, actually, you know, we have more and more Lings being made.
Yeah.
No more droning going on.
Suspicious. Yeah, they have lost a few Lings already, though. I actually kind of like the idea of sending in Lings, and if we look here, Stanel's not really scouting this, right? So that could be dangerous.
Yeah, this is a potentially rough situation you can get into with Gateway Expand, where like the only real way to scout the Link count is to go poke, but the wrong time. The Lings come in. The Lings aren't getting in here. The cannon has just started. And what are the Zealots going to do? The Zealots, 2 of them go home, and okay, all 3 of them are going to go home, but it's going to take a long time to get there. Gateway is unpowered. It's just one Zealot.
The wall is unpowered.
Yep. No.
Here come all the Lings. Okay, so the Zealots are trying to make their way back. The pylon's just now finishing. The Lings are making their way into the main as well, though, so this is not looking good for Protoss, right? Because Zerg can just kind of continue to stream Lings across the map, right?
Yeah. I think what you have to do as Protoss is, like, after the first wave of the Gateway Expand, don't leave your base until you have a cannon. And, like, if you want to be a real responsible gamer, like, block each other's probes when you leave, so this can't happen.
Yeah. Responsible gaming.
yeah.
But it looks like the Lings have made it through the wall here. They're going to be able to take out this gateway, and that is GG called by Stanel.
Yeah, this is just one of the things that can happen with Gateway Expand. And that is going to be a series for UED, trying to even that back up, bringing the score to 4-3. Now we're going to get into Supperman versus Chill, which I believe is a PvP. Yes, let's go. Everybody's favorite matchup. All right, let's get into it. Back on Butter. Starting with the right map this time. All right, in the top right of Butter, as always, in the purple Protoss, it is iRk-Supperman fighting for GOSU. And in the bottom right, in the blue Protoss, it's Chill, aka Proxy Drop Air, aka actually proxying in this game right now. With this early probe coming out.
Exciting stuff.
Here we go. This is the exciting deep strategy, intense macro games that everyone loves PvP for, right?
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this.
Exactly.
We're sending a probe out before 1 minute into the game. Are we going to build a pylon in their base? What are we doing here?
I think on Butter, the play is to build it in the natural. And you build it in this corner, like there's a chance that if Supperman is not a responsible gamer, it doesn't check with the probe, like their probe will just walk right past these gateways and not even see them. Like the main in this one, like on Eclipse, you can build the main. Here, you can't really build the main just because the way like the vision works out, you kind of see everything.
Okay.
But, like building in the natural is basically the same thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna get some gateways up here in the mat, and then what? Rallying zealots and
yep, and then like build some batteries in the enemy base.
Just Protoss things,
right? And then like it could even turn into like cannons versus cannons.
Okay.
Really entertaining stuff.
Yeah. But here's the early scout. I think this is a pretty early scout, right? So Supperman maybe thinking about something.
Actually, I think Supperman was going to 12 next.
Ooh.
Because you should have a gateway on 10. So this is like extra unfortunate.
Real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have banked up quite a bit of mana.
Yeah, this was definitely going to be 12 next.
They've been mana pylon.
No. So gonna panic, trying to get this a second gateway up here, but actually, there's only one gateway for Chill. That's weird. I have not seen Proxy one gate in this matchup, but it did sufficiently manage to mess up Supperman's dreams here.
Yeah, I wonder if Chill was going to build another one with this pylon in the main. Maybe I'm not sure exactly.
Oh yeah, maybe this pylon doesn't allow for 2 gateways, and Chill made a mistake.
Yeah, I think that definitely is true. Yeah,
so this is quality PvP here, but we do have a zealot from Chill in the mineral line, unopposed, retreated from. It's going to get 2 kills. This is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Man, just pull probes until the zealot comes out.
Okay, here's the zealot popping out. But it's still 2 against 1 here, as the second zealot from Chill does join. I think they're going to kill some more probes, it looks like.
Yeah, try to micro in this little gap here, but another probe from Supperman falls. Chill is up 4 probes right now. And Supperman can't even get both of these gateways working between building this battery and trying to deal with the mana pylon and pulling probes, so Supperman's really struggling to deal with this here. And back at home, we have 2 more gateways coming up in the main of Chill with no gas, no core. It's going to be just more zealots.
Oh, I love it, right? This is basically fastest map possible. No one's mining gas. Yeah. We're just massing zealots at each other, right? So,
exactly.
Some nice control from Chill so far, I think. Oh, they do lose one of their zealots.
Taking advantage of the battery here. But Chill not letting off the pressure. So look at this, attacking at 2 different ends of the mineral line. Forcing Supperman to split that vision. The mana pylon does go down, but damage has been done.
Yeah, so now what's the play for Supperman? You have a slight army advantage, but you're down in production and you're down in workers. So you have to make something happen, I think, right?
Yeah, I
Kinda
think
can't. Yeah.
I feel like this just requires a big mistake by Chill of some kind, like like committing into like a arc of goons or something. But so far, like I think we've seen slightly better Zealot micro ahead of Chill. So I don't really know what kind of mistake Chill could realistically make here. Well, going for the expansion this year really could be it, which is what we see here. The problem is that, like, okay, oh, we do have 2 Zealots sneaking out for Supperman, but there's already 3 in the natural of Chill.
Yeah, and I'm worried that Supperman never really stabilized this initial. Like, more Zealots are still going into their base and killing probes, so that's not good. But they are taking out this pylon that's been proxied. And they did sneak by 2, so at least they're going to get a little scout off into Chill's base, See the core finishing up. Maybe get some probes, let's see. They got 1, it looks like.
Yeah, got 1 probe, but now stuck fighting these Zealots, which is not going to be a winning fight here. Ooh, manages to get another probe, so small victory there for Supperman. And the proxy has been shut down for now, at least. Alright. There you go. So this could be Supperman's best way to get back in this game. Go for the DTs.
The old DT?
Yeah, we don't see any sign of detection coming for Chill just yet. We do have range coming in some goons.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
and there's a robo for Supperman, so it could even be like DT drop.
Ooh.
Extra
and
spicy.
there's the forge.
Yeah.
So if there's cannons at the front, the DT drop could be really effective, right?
Yeah, and then like there could be like 1 cannon in the main, but like 2 DTs and 2 Zealots can take out that cannon really quickly. But Chill is not just going to sit back and relax here. Chill is going to put some more pressure at the front, and like there's only 3 Zealots here in this choke. Like they're not going to be able to keep Chill out, so Chill's definitely going to see the Templar take at least, if not just win this game outright right now.
Yeah, nice play from Chill. Good, I guess, timing here to punish what we see from Supperman with this DT tech and even getting a robo and a forge. So this is not going to stand. It's not going to come into fruition for Supperman. Chill has reached their base now and is attacking with their Dragoons. So it looks like Chill is kind of taking control of this game with this timing attack, it looks like. They've got into the worker line now. So they're killing some probes as well.
Yeah, more probes going down. Lead for Chill growing even more. And like I think it's just over. Like it's gonna be we do have 1 GT coming out.
Okay.
This gateway, and there's no detection here for Chill, but like Chill's already way ahead on the economy. We have the natural coming up. We have cannons finishing in the natural and a cannon going up in the main. Like Supperman's gonna have trouble affording more DTs and a shuttle in the first place.
Yeah, Supperman losing pretty much all their probes here, and the DT kind of not sure exactly what it wants to do, so not even going to kill the Dragoons in the main base. It looks like Supperman's kind of trying to counterattack.
Like, I think this is a reasonable thought from Supperman, is like the only way to win this game is if Chill just forgets detection. Right? Because like if you just stay home and kill those goons, you're just looking way behind.
Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is, because Chill was able to scout this, they got their detection in time. This DT is not going to make it in here to the NAD.
There you go. Supperman sees those cannons and taps out. We're going to head into game 2. I think it's like, if I'm Supperman, I don't really feel too bad about that game, because like I was going for 12 necks, and I basically the worst possible thing happened. So like I think just brush it off. Head into game 2 with a fresh mindset.
Yeah, good play from Chill though. I like the Zealot micro.
Yeah,
and I think you're right. Supperman kind of just got mind game there, right? Proxy gate into 12 necks is unfortunate.
Right. I'm sad though because I really like to see 12 necks. Anyway, in the bottom right, and once again in the purple of Goodnight, in the bottom right of Goodnight, it's iRk-Supperman. And the bottom left, Chill with the appropriate nickname Proxy Dropper in the Blue Protoss. What are we going to see here? 4-player map, makes it's completely possible to cheese, but it's not quite as strong as it is when you can build in your opponent's base. Because you see blue players revert to a standard style here. Look at that chill building. Yeah, both players building their first pylon in their own base.
Aww.
Like whenever I cheese and win, like I am absolutely terrified that I'm gonna get cheesed in game 2. Like really? I feel like I'm always gonna get like revenge cheesed. And I'm like way better at pulling off cheese than I am defending it, so it's like extra anxiety. So both players not scouting after gateway, which is normal. I think that could be a sign that we're going to see 2-gate from both players, which I think is a reason. Oh no, we are seeing Supperman go over that gas, but I think 2-gate's a really strong build. And is Chill doing it? Yes, Chill's going for 2-gate. So I think this is like it's a really solid build. I recommend anybody who's new to PvP going for it, and half the reason it's good is because you won't die to 2-gate. It's really strong against cheese, so it's just a very strong build here. But Supperman is going to get that tech lead and get the first scout off, so shouldn't be too surprised by this.
Now, with 2 gateways from Chill, that means most likely they're going to be sending zealots again, right? They're going to be looking to do some zealot aggression.
Yeah. So there's like the old like caveman Protoss, like 2 gateways, just don't stop making zealots, like make cannons on the Nexus kind of thing. But like the cool new build is 10, 12, 21, where you make 3 zealots and then you get gas and you kind of go back into a normal looking game, which is what this is going to be now. That Chill's gotten this gas. And this is really nice because like you get a chance to pressure your opponent with these 3 zealots. You can see what they're doing, which is a huge deal in this matchup. And your tech isn't that far behind, so it's totally fine. And I think it's a good choice on this map, especially because the ramp is so big. It's going to be hard for Supperman to defend this. And we did see Chill have very strong zealot micro in the first game.
Now, Chill is gone for now the Cyber Knight score, so they don't have any zealots coming to reinforce this first group. But right now it is 3 zealots against just 1 goon without range. So if they can maybe surround this goon, and there's the goon wandering down the ramp, it may get...
It's actually good to go down the ramp to get more shots, but not good to get surrounded. Oh, no. It's super unfortunate for Supperman here. Well, yeah, that's not what you want. Like, you actually do want to go down the ramp, so you have more time to kite. But that can also happen. And that's PvP, and that's going to be a quick victory for Chill, which is going to even up the score between these 2 teams so far. It's going to be 4-4. And that means that our last series here is going to give one team an advantage going into the remaining matches for these 2 teams. So let's get into it. Alright, in the top right of Butter, in the green Zerg, it's JoJo. And in the bottom right, in the gray Terran, you will know him, it's Neblime. Fighting for the UED. So, JoJo, I want to say, beat me in week 9 of the regular season, and then also eliminated me from the King of the Tiers tournament.
Damn.
So I'm rooting for Neblime. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, Neblime would never do anything like eliminate you or beat you in a game or anything like that, right?
So what do you feel about TVZ on this matchup? We finally have a Terran in one of these games to unleash all your deep knowledge on us.
Yeah, deep knowledge, right? I'm excited to see a Terran finally. I think Neblime is definitely not going to... right? Isn't he more of a bio player? So we're going to see most likely that from Neblime.
He likes to do like 1-1-1. I don't think he likes to do like Goliath, but like he does a lot of like 8 racks, like 1-1-1. Like,
interesting. Okay.
Aggressive stuff, but still like bio.
Yeah. Yeah, which I can get behind an aggressive build. It looks like Neblime not really electing to wall here. But it looks like they're going to be fine because JoJo going for a 12 hatch, right?
Yeah. Somebody like feeling confident, maybe like knows how JoJo plays, or like thinks that because it's such a long rush, it's map will be fine.
Yeah, and here's the first scout, which is going to see this hatch. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, what if JoJo went for an early pool and hit deadlings on another attack path, right? It could be pretty bad, but it seems like right now Neblime is going to be okay. And the Zerg for JoJo has scouted with this first drone, so it's seeing no gas, it's harassing this SCV building the first barracks. And Neblime even seeing this is going to place his command center, I think, before the second depot. So that's good for Neblime to get this kind of greedy expand going here.
Damn, I really wanted to see 8 racks or 1-1-1. It's so much fun to watch. But yeah, I'm just going for the standard game this time.
Yeah, I can't fault Neblime for going standard here, especially when you can get that scout and see that they have 12 hatched. It's nice to get this early racks going. We'll see what he decides to throw down now. Okay, so it's a second racks, and they haven't even produced any Marines yet. And as well, we see a couple lings on the way for Zerg now. I wonder how Neblime is going to play this, though, because it looks like the Lings are heading straight for their base, and they only have 1 Marine now. Okay, there's the bunker.
Yeah, this is kind of pretty greedy from Neblime, but I think the bunker is going to finish on time. So you think
the bunker will be up, right? So does Zerg run by, is the question.
So is it like super fast to get a second barracks like this as Terran?
I wouldn't say this was super fast. Generally, I think they would continually build Marines and then get the later second barracks, but I don't think this is too fast. Right?
Okay.
It's generally like 21 supply you want your second barracks, right?
Okay. Look at that layer. Actually about to finish. So I assume we're going to see 2-hatch Muta here from JoJo. Yeah. Super popular build.
Yeah, and the blind, just massive Marines. Okay, now they're getting their gas, and I'm looking forward to seeing an Academy go down as well.
There it is. Second gas coming up for Zerg, so, and Spire, of course, so getting ready to pump out those Mutalisks. I don't think... Has Neblime seen what this is? Like, did we see like the gas timing or anything with the scouting SCV?
Yeah, you know, I don't think they did. I think they did see it was 2-hatch, but I don't think they saw at least this nat gas timing, and I don't think they saw the Spire go down.
Yeah, so
but here we see a little bit of
dark here.
Yeah, a little bit of a move out, and they got now one's SCV out across the map here. So maybe with that, they're going to try to either see a third base or see if they can scout the Zerg tech. And here come the medics as well. So maybe a stim timing from the blind could be coming up. Yeah, but there are the 6 mutas out, or at least halfway done. I gotta say, not a lot of drones here from JoJo, especially at the net, right?
Yeah, it definitely seems like a very aggressive version of 2H. Definitely gonna be relying on this Muta micro to do a lot of damage to Neblime here, right?
Yeah, and it looks like Neblime's turrets are a little late, but they're going to be okay because he's moved his marines across the map and he's going to engage with the Mutalisk first. But actually, losing this first marine group is not really that good for Terran, I gotta say. They do take out a few mutas.
So, like, do you think that was overall good for Zerg?
What for Zerg? I think it was a win for Zerg.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the problem is they don't really have a lot of drones, and they did lose their first mutas. They didn't kill any SCBs. So that's kind of the problem. The good news, though, is they've sent Terran back. That Terran doesn't even have enough marines to really counteract these mutas right now. So if they want to get damage done with this, +1 attack, they're going to have a timing, I think. Where there's only missile turrets and a few marines.
Yeah. And not that many turrets here in the main mineral line. Like, if you're diving straight on
there. Repair is good, though.
Repair, super good.
Nice reaction timing, I guess. Only getting by with 1 turret is pretty lucky. Yeah, I'm concerned Neblime has not dropped a factory just yet, though. Right? That would be the next step for Terran. Okay, there's the factory going down.
Yeah, the tech is going to be a bit behind here, and we already see lurkers coming. So you either want to get tanks to deal with those, or get working on your vessel count. And these mutas are going to continue to be annoying here. Third base is coming along for Zerg.
Yeah, I like JoJo continually poking around with the mutas, trying to take out turrets where they can and attacking in the SCV lines. But Neblime's turret positioning has been really good, and I don't think they've really taken any SCV kills. So I gotta favor Terran here, is as long as they're able to replenish their marine count. But here they moved out again with another group of marines, so if this gets engaged with the lings that are out, maybe they could be in trouble.
I always feel like this part of the game is so precarious for both players. Like, both sides have high DPS, fragile units.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems like JoJo's getting the better end of it right now, this micro. But
yeah, that last little engage I think did go to Mutalisk's favor, but I think as this goes on, the ability to replenish is going to favor Neblime.
Yeah, these turn units are so cheap. We do have 2 starports coming up. I feel like lately Terrans have been only going 1 starport vessel and making tanks. Is that a reaction to certain Zerg builds? Is it just more popular now? What do you feel about it?
I would say if you're only getting 1 starport, you're most likely worried about a Hydra Lurker player or maybe someone who's staying on lair longer. If you want 2 starports, you're worried about getting all the irradiates so you can take out all their high-tech units, and that's why I think Neblime here is going for the 2 starports. I think, we see the Queen's Nest going down for JoJo. They're going to start their hive here. They've got double Evos going. So this looks like, pure SK. He's already lifted off the factory.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I feel like unless the Zerg's making 10 Sunkens and you just need a tank to get through it, Vessels seems so good in this matchup. And just building up that count as soon as possible seems really good for Terran.
Yeah, Vessels are definitely good. Tanks are also good.
Sure. All Terran units are good.
Alter. Even ghosts. Yes.
Right.
Here we go. Ooh.
So one thing I like about the look at this one Marine. Oh my god, all of the lurkers here are on hold position. So this one Marine gets to be a hero and take out a few drones. Nice play from Neblime. Oh, taking out a few Overlords, supply blocking a JoJo to like a critical time here. The thing about this third base is like it's pretty wide open relative to most third bases, right? So like there's quite a few lurkers have to be held here. And like Jared might find a good position against them, or might just be able to do some damage out here in the middle of the map.
Yeah. I think the Neblime could bust the net. There's no lurkers up in that, right?
Oh,
is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah, there's just 4 slots. Nice.
Now that's something we can see. I wonder if the Neblime's going to be able to scan it and notice it as well. That's going to be a little harder. But yeah, even so, like you said, the third base is a little exposed as well. Just the Neblime's positioning here is really cutting off any kind of drone transfer anyway. Ooh, did a science vessel just get sniped trying to move across the map? It looked like the mutas just picked one off.
I did not see it, but it's very possible. I mean, there's 2 starports and only 1 vessel on the map, so I think that is likely. Alright, Neblime is inching closer and closer to the Zerg third here. Ooh, D-Matrix is a Marine.
Go ahead, Marine. Show us the way.
Like there's still just too many lurkers there.
Way too many lurkers. Yeah.
Definitely cool though. So we have the Ultra Cavern coming up. Before the Defiler Mound. So like not quite crazy Zerg because we do have lurkers, but not relying on Defilers in the Orange Cloud to stay in the game. So I think that means JoJo's feeling pretty confident, but looking at this natural might be that might be a sign of overconfidence, right?
Yeah, especially the way they just lost those 2 lurkers. I would have liked to keep them by the Sunkens, right? There's really no way Neblime can bust this area as long as there is lurkers and Sunkens, because there, as you said, there's no siege tanks, you know. So it's just reliant on the irradiate from science vessels.
Oh, one of those
Neblime though take it.
That's right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying Neblime's taking 6. But what were you saying? I didn't.
I was saying that one of those lurkers was taken out already. There's just 1 left of the natural. Ooh, vessels get it. Skirts get a vessel, and
there's a lot of Sunkens.
Yeah, the Sunkens hold for now.
Yeah, Neblime's upgrades have been pretty good. I think they just kind of shredded those mutas. But here come the Ultralists.
Do you think these Ultras are going to do well here without Defilers? Like, they don't even have upgrades, really. Well, we're seeing how this
I think there needs to be more Lings and Ultras.
Like, these unarmored Ultras are going to get, like, chewed up by these +2 Marines, right?
Yeah, looks like it. Maybe bringing some of the lurkers from the third base to flank. Here we see a dropship from the Neblime though coming, and that's gonna, I think, go right for the main. I think the Ultras are enough to kind of clean it up for now, or at least hold it off. But that's definitely going to be annoying for JoJo to have to deal with. Okay, so here comes some lurkers. It looks like they have flanked, and here's the Ultralist. So he has broken out, at least as his containment Neblime had set up. But there's the drop into the main.
Ooh, taking out some important tech here. Taking out these Evo chambers, actually, which the +1 attack finish, or +1 or +2 attack finishes at the last second, but definitely still painful for Zerg. Meanwhile, it seems like Neblime is going to win the fight out front as well.
Yeah, unfortunately for JoJo, kind of getting the army now split up, and it seems like they don't have enough to deal with the science vessels now, and they are just going to lose their lurkers to irradiate at the front.
Yeah, And then look at the third as well. Like, there is this little squad out here ready to go in. And there's no lurkers burrowed at the third base, so these Marines could have a field day here in the drone line.
Yeah, I think really Neblime just needs to kind of mass up like 2 control groups of Marines, and they have enough. But right now they're engaging in very small units with JoJo. And here's 3 Ultralisks, a few wings, and a lurker engaging with like 12 Marines in the middle of the map. And it looks like the Ultralisks might be enough here.
Yeah, with that armor upgrade done, Ultras are much tankier now. The Science Vessels will live through this fight, but Wild Force has kind of been reset for the most part.
Yeah, these Science Vessels though are, doing a lot of damage, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think Neblime needs to get, a good group together, because the Marines don't really trade that effectively in these small numbers,
Yeah. Oop, looks like
they do have.
Yeah, Neblime is getting another drop together.
Yeah, now they're sending their science vessels
yeah.
for irradiate. It looks like, yeah, the eraser.
Exciting.
Yeah, there is a counterattack going down to 6, so that's going to be pretty deadly there to some of the SCBs. But what does Zerg have to deal with this irradiate?
You have an eraser in the Nationals, not really moving around too much, kind of forcing the drones to leave for now.
And there wasn't really that many drones there anyway. And now we see a bunch of Ultras over at 6, and they're heading into the Terran mat. I don't think they're going to be able to break the Terran mat, are they?
Well, there's 2 bunkers here. They're not quite full, all of them. The Ultras are quite tanky right now. But the Marines do have +3 attack. Seems like Neblime is going to hold that up. At the same time, this drop looks like maybe nice. This 4th base from Zerg, and might be cleaned up by this Ultra. I'm just staring at this squad of units outside the 3rd base, like waiting. Like, when are they going to go in?
Yeah.
Like, what is their signal? I think maybe Neblime just completely forgotten about them. We have Burrow in protection for JoJo, maybe to dodge the eraser, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now Neblime did, go for that eraser, but I gotta say they didn't really kill too many drones, did they? It seems like JoJo still has a decent enough, drone saturation at their bases. And they lost, it looks like, all their science vessels, So now what do they have? They've got a bioforce, so they're moving across the map again. But they don't have any science vessels to support this army. Okay, but is this it? There's 6 Sunkens here, So they've got, with their army, 6 medics. That should be enough, right?
Right, and like these Marines have +3 attacks, so they're going to get a ton of damage to these Sunks. Oh, no, the squad, it gets discovered by laying an Ultra, and not get cleaned up here, but the Ultra's pretty close. Yeah, the squad does survive. So at the very least, Neblime should remember that they're there. And then I just looked at the supply. It's looking pretty good for Terran. Seems like these fights have been pretty close, but I guess Neblime is just kind of edged ahead here with each one.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Getting that 3rd base up and staying on 3 base against 3 base for Neblime has been very effective for them. And it looks like they are taking quite a considerable lead in this game. They've got the Zerg pinned back where, Zerg really can't expand anymore. And now they're just irradiating everything. So this is exactly where Terran wants to be, right?
Yeah.
What we're waiting for now is just Neblime to start massing BCs and end it, I think. But,
yeah. Dude,
confident, yeah.
I love when we see BCs. Like, it just makes me feel like a little 12-year-old kid playing Brood War again. Like, it's like, this is how they meant the game to be played. Like, you make 12 battlecruisers, you Yamato all the buildings, and you win. Like, that's how Blizzard intended the game to go. So JoJo trying to bust out here, but his army is looking pretty small at this point. So much bio here. The vessels and the scans are not here though, so these lurkers get a bunch of free damage. There we go, the vessels show up. Lurker's killed immediately.
Neblime's still not really wanting to commit in here, though, even after taking that really good engagement. They're kind of just confident. They're setting up their fourth base. They're going for some more irradiates, it looks like. And yeah, I think Terran is in a really good position. JoJo is trying to fight back into the game by taking small engagements, but it's so hard to fight Terran efficiently at this point when Terran has all their upgrades.
There's a Lurker egg that's radiated and taking no damage. And then it shows. I didn't know that's how that worked. Squad fighting and irradiated Ultra. Though the squad at the third base gets cleaned up. Wait, does it?
Oh no.
No, the last Marine stays alive.
5 kills on that Marine. He's a hero.
They're just waiting for their orders to go in. They've been at, they've been camped out for days, just waiting for the permission to attack. They're even getting reinforcements. Like, what is up with this squad in the top left, man?
I don't know. This might be it. Yeah, so maybe JoJo is just trying to mass up enough Ultralists that they can try to break out, and here they go. Neblime's kind of just like sitting outside their base in the arc, though, right?
Yeah, now I'm like, I don't want to fight the Sun, so I'm just gonna sit here until you leave the game. Like, we do have JoJo trying to bust out here with this huge arc of Marines. Like, we don't even see it radiate on these Ultras. They're just getting chewed up, and they're trying to run by, I guess, but it's tearing everywhere. There's a reinforcing wave of Marines going to catch this Ultralist.
Yeah, nice play from Neblime. This is going to be not fun from JoJo when he sees this third base, But Neblime did a good job of kind of closing this game out very methodically, I think.
Yeah, just kept getting like small advantages and compounding them, and JoJo just hasn't had a chance to like continue developing in this game. Really, been stuck on 3 bases for a long time, constantly like trading away units to not die. And there we go. It's gonna be game 1's gonna go to Terran, and we're gonna head into another game on Goodnight. There we go. Alright, this time in the red Zerg in the top right, it's JoJo fighting for Team GOSU, and possibly like the director of the UED himself in the Magenta Terran. It's Neblime.
Yeah, it's definitely high up there in the UED command, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, I really want to see some aggressive stuff from Neblime. Like, I want to see 8 racks. I want to see 111. Come on, entertain us. Don't just go for this boring, solid macro play.
Yeah. If I know anything about Neblime, though, it will be some solid macro play, but we'll see. It's fun because, there are the CPL players that approach their matches as if, this is my time to show the world my unique builds,
Yeah.
And then there's the players that are like, this is my time to not lose, I gotta play safe. So, just different mindsets, I guess.
Yeah. It's like I had a disagreement with one of the coaches this season. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, when you're playing in the practice, like during like not for your game. Like when you're practicing with the coach or whatever. Like yeah, like play macro, like learn how to play the game correctly. But then when you're playing your match, like oh yeah, cheese, just get the win. Like you're not playing that to win. Like you're not playing that to learn. You're playing that to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it is kind of there's a point to learning that kind of killer instinct where it's like, okay, you know, maybe the right play here or the way I win 100% of the time is to back off. But in this case, I know if I just make lanes, I can win. So I'm just going to do that.
Exactly. Oh, now hold on. There's no expansion for Zerg.
Yeah.
There's a pool and a gas coming. Neblime has said many times that he thinks 9 full speed is the best build in the game.
Oh, really?
So we'll see how he deals with it. Now, he didn't build any kind of... Like, he's not using these depots for defensive SimCity, which I think is hilarious, because he's always going on about, like, SimCity and how, like, you know, like, depot on the right is tight as a glove. Or no, depot above tight as a glove, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Above.
And he's not even trying to do that, so I don't know. I don't know what the rhyme for that is. Like, no depot, the things will flow.
Yeah, so it looks like pulling 4 SCVs, putting them on the ramp.
Yeah, that's what you did.
I don't know a rhyme for that.
Guess he figured it out by seeing those links. And the thing is that JoJo does not know where Neblime is. And JoJo has sent all these links to the wrong base, which will buy Neblime like 10 or 15 seconds. Probably enough to get a whole other marine out. And with this, yeah, it's just feeling pretty good for Neblime, right? Like, it sucks to have to pull these workers, but not as much as it sucks to go 9 full speed and not do anything.
Yeah, I think we are going to see Zerg try to get in there and kill some SCVs. What?
Wow. Yeah,
so
4 marines up here is quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, so this is unfortunate for Zerg. As you said, you want to get some damage done here. They are investing in speed as well. Neblime, I actually like this play going just basically saying, oh, you're going to one base? Well, I can one base too, and getting an academy, getting a second racks up.
But look, there's a very, very early third base. I think Neblime even saw it with the scouting SCP that snuck out there. And like I feel like one base Terran is gonna have a field day with that, right? You're gonna have a bigger army much faster than Zerg can deal with.
Yeah, if Neblime chooses, they can wait for the academy to finish and get medic and sim timing, and there's no way that JoJo will be able to defend that with the tech and the third base timing, right? But Neblime not even really waiting for that, just moving out here with 6 unupgraded marines, rallying in from their 2 barracks. They sent a few marines, some SCVs with their marines. But it looks like there's 8 marine, 8 Zerglings, which are just,
oh my god,
not the best engaged.
Surrounded, no!
So now this is the danger of moving out, without medics, right?
Yeah, and I'm looking at the main of Zerg, there's a Hydra Den? Like, is this like are we going to see a 973 and JVT? Like, is it going to be a straight up Hydra lurker?
Yeah, it might even be some Hydras here. The links, though, however, it might even just be enough. They've broken into the Terran main. They've got up the ramp. They're targeting the SCVs. SCVs and medics are pretty strong, though. There's a fire bat out. That's exactly what Neblime needs.
Firebat. Wow, the firebat can shoot through the medic.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So now what is Zerg do? They're building drones, it looks like.
Yeah. I guess...
Not a good feeling.
Oh my god, there's a 4th hatchery? 4th base?
Yeah.
What? What is going on? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, if you can do this, like, how does Zerg ever lose a game? You can just get 4 bases in 6 minutes.
Well, the unfortunate thing for Neblime is losing that first Marine group, right? So now it's hard for them to be aggressive. But here they are kind of venturing out again with some Marine medic and a couple fire bats. I don't know for Terran, though. How do you get back in this game? I think you do need to set up your own Nat expansion here, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, because Zerg's gonna have this 4-hatch production pretty soon, which is gonna be really hard to deal with only 2 barracks, right?
Yeah, you think so? And there's 4 fire bats in this army, but when these Hydras come out, like they're not going to be too vulnerable to fire bats. We've got even 2 more fire bats coming.
Ooh, so the medic does survive, but one of the medics kind of got a little ahead of itself there. So now I think Neblime did see the Hydras, which, as you said, could trade pretty well against what Neblime has invested in so far. Now Neblime's setting up that Nat expansion and getting a bunker. I don't think they're going to be able to get up this ramp, but here they go. They're going to need to stem here.
Let's see, fire bats making quick work of the Lings, but there's still a good amount of Hydras in the back.
Fire bats trading well. There's the sunken, but it's halfway done.
I almost feel like Neblime shouldn't even fight the sun. She like just stick the fire bats straight in the drones, but looks like this wave of units will get wiped out as well. And Zerg is going to be even on supply and just a bit behind on the workers. Seems pretty good for JoJo, right?
Oh, definitely. I like the Zerg position now. And Neblime's still on these 2 barracks, sending another group of Marine fire bat across the map, but I don't think this is going to get anything done either. And it gets cleaned up here in the middle. And now the Terran army is just so small. They have 2 Marines in a bunker. They're building another bunker. I don't know. Here comes the counterattack from Zerg.
1 Marine steps out of the bunker to stem. That's really
cool. Guys, JoJo's just going to end this with Hydras? It looks like that's their plan.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 4 Marines here. Like, it's quite a few Zerg units. There's not even that many SCVs in the natural to pull to repair. It's pretty far to pull, but here we go. We do have Neblime currently listening to me because immediately pull all these SCVs up. Medic here is going to make it a lot better. Now, Hydras can be pretty bad at busting this. Like, it takes like 12 shots for Hydra to kill an SCV, so you know, you can't ever actually kill a Terran player. You can just convince them to leave. There's even a 3rd bunker going up here.
Yeah, like you said, if Neblime chooses, they can kind of survive at least past this early attack, but maybe JoJo goes for it here. They are messing up at this location. I'm kind of surprised, though, because this is definitely not the type of unit comp you want as Terran. I mean, as Zerg, I would say, right?
Yeah, Hydra
Ling. A bunch of Hydra Ling.
Yeah. Like, they're going to get each other's way. Like, they don't share the same upgrades. We just now see the lairs starting, so not going to be any lurkers here for a while. We see siege mode starting for Terran, as well as a tank, so that's definitely going to help out Neblime a lot here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a tank on that high ground right there. That could put a hamper in Zerg's attacking abilities, right?
Yeah. A few more drones mixed in for Zerg. Still can't believe Zerg is getting away with 4 bases right now. Like, it's absurd.
You know, that being said, though, Zerg is not... Okay, now they're mining gas with their NAT, but they weren't really taking advantage of all the gas which has been available to them. They are now taking up towards that Queen's Nest, though. Yeah, so maybe we're going to pull back now that they've seen the siege tank is out.
So what high tech goes best with Hydras in this matchup?
I would say you still want Defiler, but that's just me. I think Defiler is just so strong, right? Why would you not want to do it? Here we see a drop though going out for Neblime. I think it's going to get scouted by this Ling though. But we'll see how JoJo reacts. They do have quite a bit of very mobile army in this Hydra Ling, so if they are in the correct position, they should be able to shut this down, right?
Yeah, there's
but kind of moving out of position here. But where's...
I mean, at the fourth base, there's a sunk already.
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe JoJo did miss this drop because there's not much of a reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to hide behind the minerals here, away from that sunken, but I have to shut down the mining.
Yeah, I like this positioning from the line. You don't want to get lured into the sunken, and you want to unload all your units. Okay, here we go. The drones not being pulled could be dangerous. Okay, here come the Hydras and Lings, but they're just kind of streaming in small numbers. This is exactly what you want as Terran. Uh-oh, lots of drones going down.
Several drones going down, like 5 or 6 drones going down here. And
yeah, they really need to get transferred away.
JoJo's not really sending anything else up here. Like, doesn't want to lose any more units in this meat grinder, and that's just a really nice move by Neblime.
Yeah, and behind this, Neblime's been able to accumulate quite a number of tanks, getting up to 4 tanks, and they're getting a 5th tank as well. So it's going to be really hard for JoJo to kind of bust Neblime. Okay, now Neblime's actually moving out with this army. They've got a science vessel. And still, this drop is still alive? Are you kidding?
Let's finally get it cleaned up. There's Link attacking a sunken in the top left of the... There you go, okay, they stopped doing that.
Okay, I actually don't like this move out timing from Neblime. We'll see. But just looking at the army sizes that we can see, looks like Zerg's going to be able to overwhelm this army. I think you need more Marine Medic with these siege tanks if you're going to commit them across the map.
5 tanks, but not a whole lot to defend them. So they get out of position, Zerg going to absolutely just run them over.
But we'll see. It's going to come down to the engage, right? Like you said, if they get out of position. So maybe Neblime's going to be very cautious here.
Lurkers get found out by the vessels, but is it too late? Are they going to be able to pounce on these tanks?
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. Oh my god, so all the Lurkers go down, though.
With big D-Matrix on that tank in the front. No siege, though. We have 1 tank being sieged. I think overall, Zerg's going to win this fight. And it's going to take Terran a lot longer to replace this unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of 1 tank getting sieged up, but not really having enough buffer units, I think, for the siege tanks, and getting a good engage from JoJo. So I got to give them credit. They're able to hold off that attack. Neblime now loading up a dropship, though, and sending it into the Zerg main. So this is going to cause JoJo to retreat their Lings to have to deal with it.
Might be able to get the Evo Chamber, it looks like, but no upgrades currently been researched. I guess one will get dropped up, or cleaned up without doing too much damage. Neblime's like still being aggressive with this smaller and smaller army.
It looks like right now they're trading okay, but yeah, I'm definitely questioning the continued decision to attack here.
Yeah.
Nice split.
Yeah, migrating pretty well here, but just not a whole lot to work with. Seems like it's enough for that battle.
Yeah.
Is it going to be enough to actually like put any damage on these bases? No, I think just these Lings are going to clean it up, right? Yeah.
Radiate.
Trying to erase through the Lings, but you're going to be doing lots of friendly fire in the meantime, right? I guess it's it's enough. It's just medics here.
The medics don't care, yeah. Last stand of the medics.
Bring together there. Second too late to save all those medics. I can't believe this fight's still going. Like, this fight's been going on for like 2 minutes. It's like 6 Lings show up, and 6 Marines show up. Tank gets caught out in the middle of the map. Definitely a rough one for Terran. Seems like Neblime has this mineral only set up, trying to get this 4th base, but Lings are dangerously close.
Yeah, I like the idea of sending these things down to the bottom of the map from JoJo. I think it's hard to fight Terran head-on repeatedly, right? So here's sending some units around to try to get a counterattack going, maybe make Neblime split up his army. And now the Ultra Defiler is out, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the Hydras have been abandoned. Probably gonna looks like we're just shifting into a more normal looking late game with the Defiler Ultra Ling. And these Ultras are upgraded too, so not gonna have the problem that they had in the first game.
Yeah, it looks like Engage coming over here at the only for Neblime. I think there's enough Terran troops here to defend, and there is a drop headed into the Zerg main. There's one Ultralisk over there to deal with it. Okay, there's the Darkstorm up at the middle only. And that's right on top of his tank, so they're both going to go down.
It seems like that drop killed the Ultra and actually killed a few Lings, and now there's 3 Marines here in the main. What is Neblime going to focus on? Looks like he's going to choose to go for drones rather than tackle Lings, which I think is pretty cool. Look at how many Lings these Marines are killing. They do eventually get cleaned up. But Neblime also saves the 3rd base. So again, like, it's like this game looked like good for Zerg for a while there, but Neblime just gets a little bit ahead with each fight, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Like each drop and each fight and each irradiated science vessel, it just gets this little bit of an advantage for Neblime. It's really compounding here.
Yeah, Neblime has really kept the pressure up, and their repeated drops have at least taxed Zerg's defenses to the point where Zerg does not feel comfortable taking another base. Which, if we look, their gas bank is really low for Zerg, so maybe they did want one more gas here.
So there's a big fight here in the middle of the map, but there's no Defilers, there's no Darkstorm. The Ultras get punched through and the Lings get cleaned up. That looks really solid for Terran. Like, there's not too much left on the map to actually oppose this push.
Yeah, that was a very convincing win, right?
Yeah. We do have one Defiler here.
Maybe they can get a Plague off? I'm not sure. Oh, Plague's not done yet. Okay, there's a Darkstorm, pretty nice.
Trying to bait this Ultra out of the Darkstorm, but... oh man, they're in whole position and they irradiate still damage to them both. Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Wow, the irradiate on one Ultra is going to kill the other one. It's amazing. There's some Lings trying to backstab here, but... There's 2 bunkers at this 3rd. Plenty of units being rallied. One Ultra hanging out in the Darkstorm there, but it does expire. JoJo's taking this top left base. Desperately wants more gas. But I think it might be too late here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Neblime able to set up a base here at 6 o'clock, and I think that's kind of it now. As long as they're able to hold on to that 6 o'clock base, this group that's out here attacking is kind of just like the icing on the cake, I think, for Neblime. Yeah. They're going to siege up at this really nice spot outside 12. They've got a drop denying this new base.
Soldiers keep popping, but there's just too much stuff on the ground for Terran. These tanks are going to make quick work with the sunk side as well, like you said. And, we have one huge counterattack from JoJo at the 3rd and 4th of Terran. You kill this takes our front. These 2 bunkers are not going to be enough. We're going to have some kind of base trading going on here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of SCVs are going to go down here.
Terran is not pulling back.
Oh, but look at this medic on the ramp. I think that might be it. That might be enough.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
One medic on the ramp. What more do you need? Oh, look at the tanks getting up to 12 o'clock. Ooh, all the SCVs going down at Terran's Middle only.
Yeah, but Terrence still has plenty of SCVs. Neblime, I think, always makes like slightly too many workers, but it's great because it means you have a buffer if you lose some.
Yeah. Here's another Zerg attack, but they have nothing left now to defend their Nat.
Last of that attack gets cleaned up, and Neblime's still outside the Zerg Natural. I like that. I feel like the Defilers really haven't been rebuilt.
Yeah, I think it's just been hard for JoJo to even mass any gas units with all these science vessels running around.
Constant pressure. There you go. JoJo taps out, and Neblime wins. I think the only not the only 2-0 victory. We did that PvP, but still a very well earned victory, and that is going to put the team score 5-4 in favor of UED. And man, those were awesome, really good series. I don't know about you, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
Oh man, that was a long one. Those are all some intense games. But I'm so glad we got to cast that. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. I'm gonna close it out and find somebody to raid. Make sure you tune in tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday and probably Friday. We're trying to cast all these games in the playoffs. Yeah, so thanks again and see you later.